Hello, everyone, and welcome to poetry reading. Tyler is going to do a haiku about his prom night.
Spoken word poetry. What do they call that?
Oh well, what other kind of poetry is there?
There's a. I was trying to think of the name of it. What do you call that?
I said a haiku.
I don't know.
All right, come on.
I don't know. I can't do that. What is that? 575. It's a haiku.
Yeah.
I can't do that off the top of my head.
Okay, but for reals though, we're doing Jedi Survivor. It's a game. Very unknown franchise. I don't know. Have you heard of it? Star Wars? Nobody? Yeah, see, crickets.
Never heard of it.
Is this about the war in the stars?
And this really crappy. Like,
There's only one of those.
Like Respawn. Has anybody ever heard of Respawn? Who knows? This must be like an indie game, really. But yeah,
very small budget.
Joined by the other normal 3 idiots. I'm not gonna say chuckleheads. I mean, it's not false.
Not incorrect.
Yes, Tyler's here.
Hi.
He's in his kitchen. That's what his kitchen looks if you're like watching on the video version.
Look, I'm pressing buttons.
Yeah, I don't think that would be incredibly small. I think a person's supposed to stand in there. Ryan is here as well.
I have a haiku.
Oh, okay.
Really cool lightsaber. Jumping around is... No, I can't count. No?
No. Really cool lightsaber is 6 syllables. You've
Boo! You
ruined it before you've even begun.
All right.
Yeah, what do you why don't you go back to
It's snowing on Mount Fuji.
You learned nothing from Ghost of Tsushima.
My cat just jumped from the floor to my shoulder. Very
Oh,
painful.
it's a many cats show. Where are your cats, Tyler? They were here earlier.
One of them sleeping in my bed. Sorry, my dryer went off.
All right, Chris is here. Maybe he's got a haiku.
I don't have a haiku.
Oh,
I'm not prepared. I'm sorry.
Okay, and we're joined by Brian from Draft Punk fame as well. Maybe his cat has a haiku.
The cat does not have a haiku. We did not come prepared for spoken word poetry night, unfortunately. I'm sorry, but thank you for having me. I've been on a lot of podcasts, especially with Ryan and Chris. This feels like the between two ferns of podcasts so far, I gotta say.
This is when we're involved, it's much more off the rails.
Yes. Nothing will go as planned. This will be very,
especially with Tom hosting.
I mean, the fair part is it's 10 a.m. here, so I have not started drinking. Whereas the original thought was to do it after we did Wasted, when Tyler and I would probably be very drunk.
Hammered.
And it would be very sloppy. But
yep. You can go back and listen to the recording of episode 2 of the Friendly Fire podcast to know how that would sound.
That was very good. Lean back in your beanbag chair.
That's right. All right, on to the Star Wars. Let's go.
Yeah. Well, I guess, what history do you guys have with Star Wars? I mean, movies, games. Tyler?
I've seen all the movies except for Solo because that doesn't count.
Actually, I just rewatched Solo, and if they would have just gotten rid of the guy that plays Han Solo, the movie actually wouldn't have been terrible. But I can't stand that actor. But Woody Harrelson's pretty good in
the only movie I
like
haven't
Donald
seen.
Glover.
Seen most of the shows except for the animated ones. Played most of the games. I mean, I'm middling. I'm not like the biggest Star Wars fan in the world, but I like Star Wars. I'm in the middle of the road.
Yeah, everybody
I like it more than some.
He likes Lord of the Rings more than Star Wars.
I do. I like fantasy more than sci-fi. It's just a preference, but Star Wars,
which is weird.
Still good. I like
you don't like gothic stuff, but you like fantasy, and there's fantasy.
Same thing. What are you talking about? Comparing apples with oranges.
We're after you. It's Ryan's turn.
I'm also in the middling Star Wars fandom. I've seen movies 1 through 7. I've seen Rogue One. I've seen some of Clone Wars. I played a little bit of Pod Racer when I was a kid, but I haven't played the big hits like KOTOR that everyone knows. But I fucking adore Fallen Order. I played the ever-loving crap out of that game. Was very hyped for the sequel here.
Are you so hyped that you even love the Wookiee design?
I didn't hate it. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it.
It wasn't good.
No,
I
but
told Tyler,
it could have been
"The
worse."
Wookiees," when I replayed it, because I replayed it before playing Survivor, and I'm like, the Wookiees look like Weasel from Suicide Squad. It is very not good. But yes. Chris?
Yeah, I'd say I'm probably somewhere in the middle of the pack too. I've seen all the movies, but like I didn't watch any of the movies until college. At which point, like the original trilogy was still good, and I can recognize like how good they were for their time. But it was like very tropey. But obviously, they invented the tropes. Like you can't blame them for being tropey when everybody just stole from them. But yeah. So I really liked like the newer movies, the new trilogy. I like Solo actually, and I love Rogue One. It's actually no, Episode 8's definitely my favorite, but Rogue One's right below that. And yeah, the games, I love Fallen Order. I played Squadrons a little bit and enjoyed that. That's pretty much it. I tried KOTOR, but the combat is like ancient now. I wish that remake would come out so that I could play it.
True. Brian?
Yeah, I mean, I get why you guys have me on here now because I'm surrounded by a bunch of fake ass Star Wars fans.
It's just me and you, so
I know. Yeah, no, my mom's actually the one who got me into them. So I had seen them all probably by the time I was 6 or 7 years old, and then when the special editions came out in theaters in '97 when I was 10, that was my first chance to go see them in theaters. But yeah, it was just love at first sight for me. I think it's interesting that Tyler said he likes fantasy more than sci-fi because I feel like Star Wars almost is more fantasy than sci-fi throughout a lot of it. You know, it's got that sci-fi backdrop, but a lot of the themes and tropes are very fantasy, high fantasy. So but yeah, no, I love all the movies. I've watched all the shows, including, you know, the cartoons, Clone Wars, Rebels. I'm sitting next to part of my lightsaber collection from the Galaxy's Edge theme park that I've picked up over the last few years. I was never a huge book guy. I tried to get into the books once Disney took over and kind of erased the canon because there's just so much content there that I was like, okay, that's all gone. I can start fresh. I can get into it. And then I realized as an adult, I don't have the attention span to read books anymore. So that was a failed endeavor.
Do you have the attention span to listen to books?
I know, and that's what I need to do because that's all I do in the car is podcasts.
Audiobooks,
so I
man,
need to
way to
switch
go.
over to audiobooks. Yeah, and
They're the
because
best.
I started Alphabet Squadron, I was really enjoying it, but I just kind of fell off. I want to get into Aftermath. But yeah, huge Star Wars fan. Played the first Fallen Order game, absolutely love it. Like Chris, I also came late to KOTOR. My wife actually got me into that one because that's one of her favorite RPGs. And I agree with you. Like that was a slog because of the combat, and I did power through because the story eventually gets so good that I was invested enough to go through with it. But I'm really excited for that remake and for people to discover that story with hopefully some more updated combat systems.
Yeah, I'm old, so I've played man, Super Nintendo, Super Star Wars, Super Empire Strikes Back, Super Return of the Jedi. Those games are fantastic. X Fighter, X Wing on PC. Like I've played pretty much every game except for that really bad 360 Connect dancing one.
Oh yeah.
How dare you besmirch?
You play
I'm
the
Han
angry. You
Solo
play
dance.
the
Some of the
Angry
Lego
Birds
ones.
Star Wars.
I did play the Angry Birds Star Wars. Lego ones I have gotten for the kids, but I haven't really played any of them. But like Jedi Power Battles for Phantom Menace was really good. I actually camped out to get tickets to Phantom Menace because I was a senior in high school when that came out. And I skipped a day of school, so
that was
fine.
before you could easily buy tickets online too. So
Oh no, yeah, you had to sit
like,
outside. We camped out,
Yeah,
and it was rainy and awful, but it was worth it.
Well, and then in addition to buying your tickets, you know, a week before, you had to make the trip to the theater. Then the day of, there's no assigned seats back then, so you
Nope.
also had to show up like an hour and a half early for the movie if you wanted to get the best seat in the theater as well. So
Yeah. My buddy actually spent like a week. He had some of you will remember Sting from wrestling when he was the Crow. He actually had a mask like that, and he painted it like Darth Maul instead. And it was very good, and went dressed as Darth Maul for the premiere. It was pretty fun. It was a good time. But yeah, Star Wars pretty much all my life. I got Emmy into it. That's gotta say something, right? See, she said yes. Did you not hear her? She did say yes.
We didn't hear.
I did say yes.
We didn't hear it.
Now we
Okay,
heard
we heard that.
Oh, there it is.
But yeah, I
I
just
still don't believe
recently.
you,
Oh, okay. She has Star Wars shirts and stuff. That's progress, right?
Cried with
It's the definition
yeah.
of
She
fandom.
definitely didn't like it when
Yeah.
Anakin killed all the younglings. Oh, and I'm pretty
You
sure she
You don't
cried
like
when...
images of grown men killing kids? That doesn't.
Well, to be fair, I think she also cried when Kylo killed Han.
Spoilers.
Okay, if you have not watched that yet,
yeah. If you have not
I mean,
watched that, you are not watching a spoiler cast on Jedi Survivor. I don't
Yeah.
think it.
Yeah, I mean, I just discovered for the first time that Ryan hasn't seen 8 or 9, and 9 is excusable, I guess, but I love 8.
8
8
is
is the
amazing.
best movie.
Yeah.
8 is the best Star Wars movie.
It's very good. We should have a movie night, Ryan.
All right. Yeah, I'll watch movies if they're in Discord, but that's about the only time you can
Do
hit
a
Watch
Do it.
party.
do a live commentary on it because 8 is so much fun to watch. That movie rules.
Yeah.
I'll do it. How many beers are we drinking?
None. I'm not drinking with you anymore. I'm
Many,
done.
like, oh, whatever. Wasted is over. We're now
Yeah.
Right. No
Fine.
more.
I will go back to my designs and erase you from the designs. I'll
That's
put in.
fine.
I'll put in blinks.
There you go.
And then it'll be me and your
Blinks?
cat. It's his cat.
Oh,
Okay.
I thought you meant like the Time Sweeper, like from. The
Well, that's
Xbox
what
game.
my cat is named after. Blinks. The Time Sweeper.
So, yes.
As you can tell, we're really into this game. Lots.
We
of
actually
really
are,
good
though.
games.
We
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
Supremely.
I'm loving this game. It's fucking fantastic.
So yeah, we start off with chapter 1. Cal has been captured. Who, for 1 second, believes that this was actually what was happening?
No.
I mean, cast of characters around him are like, okay, I don't know which one is going to be on his side because they are basically all new.
Right.
And
Yeah.
BD, you see very briefly, like on the back end of when you make it to your walking destination to Senator Sajan.
Mm-hmm.
Very creepy. looking.
There's a moment right at the start when you're flying in on the transport where Cal stands up very suddenly to look at the Jedi Temple, and it's like, if this guy is a Jedi, a wanted criminal and a prisoner, like, they're not going to just let him make a sudden movement like that without
Yeah.
punching him in the
Yeah.
stomach and knock him back
Yeah.
down. So that was
Yeah.
the moment that I immediately was like, okay, something's off here.
Yeah, but the just the visuals of coming into Coruscant is very, very nice. Seeing the Jedi Temple with the Empire regalia on it.
Yeah, that was the first note I wrote down. Was that opening cinematic? It looked fantastic. It was really cool to see them flying in and stuff, and the design of that world is so good. It's such a better job from the first one to the second one of like their design of everything.
Yeah, but
it's great.
the intro for the first one was very good too, when he's listening to that crazy, weird throat singing rock band. As it's like they're ripping apart the starships. That's very cool.
Like
Yeah,
the
it's good.
Mongolian metal band, yeah.
Yeah.
But you take that knowledge from the first game, how the first game ended, and then like starting this one off, it's like, oh, you have all this history with Cal now, so seeing him flying in being handcuffed and stuff, and it's cool to be like, okay, well, where's this going to go from here? You
Yeah.
know, it's a good opening. I like that opening a lot.
I also
tell
I
you.
love the newer trope of going from that intro screen when you hit new game, like right into the action. Like when you
Yeah.
hit that new game button, then the ship just flies right past you, and like that's the start of the game. We're in it already. Like Spider-Man does a really great job with that usually as well.
Mhm.
And I love it when a game transitions like that. It's a really cool way to start.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely a God of War 2018 thing, right? Where it's like, here's a cinematic, we're gonna pan out, and then like you're gonna go straight from the cinematic into the gameplay, and it does that a lot in this game too, and I love that too because it feels more seamless that way. I'm so glad we're past that point in video games where it's like, oh, hey, here's a loading screen after everything, you know?
Yeah. They still have the tight crawling through this area while they load, but I was fine with that. You know, like when you're always sitting, we're sitting on an elevator, Mass Effect style, you know, where you're on the elevator for fucking 5 minutes. Man, how
Yeah.
far is this away?
It doesn't always do the crawl through though. Like sometimes you'll see that little like what is obviously a crawl through load, you assume, but then he'll just like go through it really quickly. Like you can
Yeah.
basically sprint through it. So
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can definitely tell when they put. I think they put them in there maybe more so to mix them so it is not as noticeable maybe of like a load. Some of them probably aren't even loads. They just put them in there so it's like, okay,
yeah.
fine.
Yeah, because I mean, some developers have talked about like if there's just a good transition, like to say like, hey, if there's a puzzle in this next area, it's not going to go back through this giant,
Sure.
crevice that you crawled through.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's a lot of boss fights or like, side boss fights, I guess, that will be like that. Like, hey, you got to go in here and you can tell like you enter and it's arena. Haha, time to get your ass beat by a bunch of fucking frogs. Right, Tyler?
Yeah, we'll talk about it later.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a big boss fight that we all talked about in the chat, and as soon as we saved before that moment, we hit a meditation point. My wife was playing at the time and turned the corner and said, "Yeah, I'm gonna hand the controller to you for this." She wanted no part of that as soon as we saw what it was.
Yeah,
Not great.
Oh, it was very good. But yes, so essentially, Sejan is captured you because he wants favor with the Emperor. Well, the Empire too, but the Emperor mostly. Which, but you think we're going to see Palpatine at all?
Maybe. I mean, we saw Vader at the end of the first one.
Yeah.
True story. You think we see Vader in this one?
Step up, yeah.
Probably.
I think
Probably.
we definitely see
Probably going to
Vader
see
in
them
this
all.
one. I don't know if
I think Tom knows more than the rest of us.
I think we see him again.
Yeah, none of us are at the end of the game. But
I'm not at the end of the game.
I know. I said none of us are at the end of the game. But
close.
Tom's like 60%, 70%, something like that.
Listen, it's a very good game. All right,
It's very good. Yeah.
The pull from the dark side is.
I will say I stepped into the dark side last night. We may have moved on to the next planet briefly.
Yeah.
Well, because otherwise you were the only one that didn't play Past Chapter 2. So
Yeah, I am the closest to Brian. I got halfway through chapter 3 and then I stopped. But I mean, the game is good. It's like, come on,
Oh, good.
the gameplay rules. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm also halfway through chapter 3, but
I'm end of chapter 4.
Geez.
These guys, man.
These guys.
I mean, I could have had it beat by now, but I spent that last Sunday just running around doing the open world stuff because I'm like, oh, I'm not going to play Past Chapter 2. I was like, you should play. You're having fun. So then I played all Sunday.
Well, to be fair, you're like, I haven't been this into a game in a long time. It's like,
it's true. I haven't.
Keep
probably
playing.
Ghost of Tsushima was like the last time I was like really into something coming out.
Do you think you're going to finish it for the next recording, or do you have a lot of open world stuff to do?
Me? Oh, fuck yeah. I'll be done. Okay. I'll probably be done before the end of the weekend, and I'll start over. New Game Plus, more than likely.
He'll be done by the end of today.
No, we got things to do today. Although, if there is a big lapse, I probably will play between now and Wasted. Maybe. But
I did want to talk about the opening a little bit though, because it's really amazing cinematography and stuff. But then we should talk a little bit about performance issues, because immediately as soon as I got control, it was like mad frame drop, screen tearing for me. And I know some people haven't seen that at all, and we're all playing on PS5, which is bizarre. But like the issues were really bad on Coruscant. They got a little bit better on the other planets, but yeah, it was pretty bad.
Yeah, I've had my worst performance issue has been frame drops hardcore on the first planet that you go to, Kobo. Anytime I was around water, for whatever reason, I would just lose frames consistently. And there is a optional boss fight with the Rancor. We all did it. And that fight in particular was really bad for me. Anytime he would do the ground pound smash move where he would like splash water up, my frames would just fucking dip so bad. And I lost that fight a lot because of that, because I couldn't perform a dodge or a parry correctly, and I would just lose frames. And it was incredibly noticeable. But that was the worst part for me. I've had a little bit of screen tearing here and there, but it hasn't like hindered my experience with the game. But the frame drop in that fight in particular was pretty bad.
Do you know why it was water that's causing you issues, Tyler?
I don't know.
Because triangle is not the alchemical sign for water.
How long did it take you to think of that? Have you been thinking about that?
Literally just thought about it when you started saying it. I'm like, oh yeah. Triangle.
I've had nothing. Pre-update, I had I could count on maybe both hands the number of times I really saw screen tearing. And the number of times it dropped below 50 frames per second, also maybe one hand, barely anything. Post update, literally nothing. It's ran perfectly smoothly for me. I've checked because I play PS5 through the Elgato on my PC, and that gives me a FPS readout. And because Rob was talking about it being terrible, And after I had a conversation with him about that, I was like, I haven't seen like shit. I actually like watched the FPS meter while I played for like an hour, and I never once saw it drop below 50, and that was before the update. So it's ran perfectly smoothly for me. I've been playing performance mode, but on a 1080 screen, which I don't know if that makes a difference, because I know performance mode locks it at 1440, but if it's still on a 4K screen, who knows for sure. But I mean, locking it even lower technically because of my monitor settings maybe has given me a bit of a boost.
Yeah, I'm just real bad at like noticing stuff like that. I think maybe my eyes just aren't good, but like there's been a couple of times where Kel has been like, "Oh, there's some screen tear there," and I was like, "Oh, okay." I just don't. I feel like I don't notice it super well, so it hasn't bothered me very much at all. I have noticed a couple of frame rate issues, especially around water, as was mentioned, but nothing that's like ever felt game breaking in any way. Like
Yeah,
Ryan said, for me, I feel like it's been mostly pretty
agreed.
smooth. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I haven't had.
I should say that too. It hasn't been game breaking at all for me, where it's like
Yeah.
I don't want to play this game, but it's just
Right.
noticeable. All
Yeah.
those things.
Yeah, I mean, I have not had many problems, and I've been playing on my UHD 4K TV, like cranked. The only difference that I think that I would have is I bought the 1 terabyte Western Digital Black RAM boosted memory card for the PlayStation, but I know it runs a little better than the actual PlayStation hard drive, but that would be the only reason that I would think that mine would have been fine. And yeah, I've been playing it mostly on my TV. I mean, I'll play it on my monitor occasionally, which doesn't look as good as on the TV, but
Yeah, I've played it on an 4K TV and on my, I think it's a 1440 monitor, or a 1080 monitor, and it's still the same either way. But yeah, it also like it doesn't affect like my enjoyment of the game at all. It's just very noticeable and very often. Like I'm also Brian in most games. I'm really bad at seeing that kind of thing, but it stands out so much in this game because it is pervasive in my playthrough anyway.
yeah, I have had a few issues. I think I was fighting a certain enemy and he had a cloak and he did a flip over me, but then his cloak decided to cover my entire screen as it was like weirdly glitching out. So I couldn't see. So I just started swinging randomly. But I've had it happen like once or twice with Cal's character because I have one that has like the Guardian, like the Titans belt kind of deal.
I'm using that.
Yeah. So it's got like the little, I don't know, drapery.
Like half,
sometimes
half skirt kind of. Yeah.
And it kind of like shoots weird, but and like weird, a couple bugs where I fell to grab onto like a post and like he was just floating above it and would not grab it, but I could keep attacking, but I couldn't move, which was very weird.
Haven't had that. I've put my lightsaber away, but it stayed on.
Yeah, you showed me that one. Yeah, where he's
Oh.
running, like just slice your own arm off.
Seems like a work hazard.
So since we're talking about lightsabers, what's your blade color of choice, Tyler?
I think is it cyan? Is that one of the colors?
Light blue.
Yeah, the lighter blue. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm using cyan right now. I switch between that and magenta a lot. I was using white for a little bit as well, but definitely lighter versions. I like the lighter colors.
Ryan?
I dabbled with green, purple, orange. I had magenta. I've switched that color around so many times. I balance the lightsaber color to be complementary colors to however I have the handle set up and whatever my outfit is at the moment. Yep. Currently, I'm using a white saber.
Yeah.
Very.
Yeah, I should say that as well. Mine also complements the handle and grips as well, which, the customization for the lightsaber is fucking awesome. It's so good. The fact that you can break it down into like 7 pieces and customize all those pieces, and the primary color, secondary color, the accessory color, like the grip color. Love it. The amount of like flexibility you have to make Cal your Jedi and play the way you want is so much better than the first game. I mean, you actually feel like I don't know. It almost feels like an RPG in that way, where it's like I could play this game however I want. Whereas like the first one, you kind of had to play all the same. Like we didn't have a lot of differences in how we played.
Yeah. Chris?
Mine's white right now. I had it orange for the first like half of this chunk, and then I changed to white, and I have liked the design so far. And I don't know that I will change it up again unless I find one that's like super cool. Yeah, that's like, I don't really bother with like changing, like even when I have to customize a character in a game, I will do a very little bit and then not change it again. Like I've got a full beard on Cal and windswept hair. Like he looks rugged and I like that.
That's what I got.
Probably won't change it again,
Yeah.
no matter what I find.
Who doesn't have the full beard right now?
Oh, I don't. That's right.
Oh,
No, I took it off for the.
Did you put the Van Dyke on?
No, I got the stash and patch.
I've been finding a lot of mustaches recently.
Yeah, same.
Not great.
Yeah, put on the handlebar and the mullet, and the game feels completely different.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, makes you want to shoot up a case of Bud Light.
yeah.
Yeah, the best tweet I think I've seen so far related to this game is the one of him with the handlebar mustache, making fun of the scene from Office Space with Diedrich Bader, where he says, "You know what I'd do with $1 million, man? 2 Twi'leks at the same time."
All right, Brian, what color you got?
We've been rocking the orange as of late. We painted our lightsaber handle itself Jedi blue. So the blue and the orange is a nice contrast. We also are rocking a similar color scheme on our BD1, which that's where the customization stuff has really impressed me. Like the animation on how you flip through the different BD faces and it just like smacks it onto it. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so cute.
Yeah, BD is
photo mode.
I know. BD is the best. Like when you grab an essence and he like sits down next to you and he does that little like foot
the
movement.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so adorable.
Yeah. I also am using orange, but I'm using orange more for the meaning than the color, I guess. Because the orange is is the in between. Like you are not quite good, but you are not quite evil. Also, I can't get a red one right now.
So. They showed some footage a couple weeks ago at Star Wars Celebration of the Acolyte show that's coming out next year.
Yeah,
and it looks like we're getting a live action character using an orange lightsaber, which I'm very excited.
Yep.
Yeah.
I guess he's from one of the shows too. Like that's an actual character from one of the cartoons, I believe, is what they said.
Oh, you're talking? It's from the Ahsoka one, right? Is that not what?
That's right. It's from Ahsoka. You're right. Yeah, the Acolyte footage was shown at Celebration, hasn't been released. You're right. It's Ahsoka. Yeah, and there's 2 characters. It seems like she's fighting with or against at various times. But yeah. There was some rumors that the older guy might have been Ezra, but I don't think the timeline works out for that. So
no. Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, I'm using orange. Anyway, back to before being able to customize any of our shit. We're still on fucking
Say John.
Yes. Which is fine. So we find out that after meeting him, this is a ruse. Big surprise. That we just wanted to get on his fantastic yacht to collect some intel that he had. And then we get introduced to our other cast of characters, the twins, who are very cool. Very sad that they are not in it more than fucking
so excited to learn so much more about all these characters.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Like I had mentioned that there's a book that takes place in between Fallen Order and Survivor called Battle Scars, which I had seen at Barnes and Noble like 2 weeks ago, and I was going to pick it up. Didn't. Then I'm like, oh, I'll get the audiobook and listen to it before. And now I really wish I would, because I guarantee you it goes into all of these characters.
Yeah.
And the escapades they have been on with Cal in between.
Yeah. So I haven't read the book either. But somebody in Brian's Discord, the Draft Bunch Discord, was talking about it, and from what he said, like the crew, Cal, Marin, and Grease, everybody is still together at the end of that book. They're just they like established like that they are dissenting from each other, and that they're like, you know, they have the reasons why they're going to split up eventually before this game. But from what it sounds like, it doesn't actually go into Cal's new crew or anything.
Well, that sucks. Maybe we'll get some DLC with like a
because Tom and I were talking before recording when we were playing Fortnite earlier, and we're like, there is some context stuff where it's like, I don't understand the amount of time that's lapsed from the first game to this game and why things are the way they are, like why you don't have your crew, and I want that context. It's kind kind of frustrating.
It also makes like a weird disconnect now because we're at the point where we get the intel and not big surprise, it's an ambush and a trap, but you don't really get like, these characters are with Cal, but there's no like feeling behind it. Like, okay, you feel bad for Cal because they all get fucking mowed down, but like you have no connection to these characters at this point.
Except for Bode. Bode doesn't.
Bode doesn't go down.
Well, right, but still.
Yeah.
I'm saying the characters
Yeah,
that
but-
do die.
but
Bravo,
he's-
Gabs, Keeb, and Liz.
Yeah, there's 6 of them, and 4 of them die like immediately, and he's like all broken up about it. But it's like,
well, 3
you
of
have
them die
no.
right away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
but
when he
Bravo
looks-
dies like shortly after.
Yeah, when he looks at the photo later of like his crew, the ship, the picture they took on the ship, it's like,
Yeah,
did they take that in the game? I was like
Yeah,
so
you-
confused in this first section.
you have
like,
no
did I forget
context
all
for
these
it at
people
all.
from the first game.
No,
They're not in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they are definitely not in it. But
And-
what's cool about the ambush is the ninth sister returns, Masana
Yeah.
Tide, and she has her not actual arm because you chopped it off in the first game and on Kashyyyk, which is good because I was like, whatever happened to her? She just kind of ran away, and then you're like, oh, I don't really know what happened, but I think it's very cool that they bring her back, even though you just murder her immediately. But it's good to have resolution.
I do like that moment
too,
too, where Cal like says her full name, and she like kind of stops for a second, and like,
well, he's trying to
you
get
almost
her, like, it's weird because
Yeah.
he's just trying to get these people on his side. He's like, this is, we're like,
yeah, you're
dying
killing your
breed
own.
here.
What are you doing?
Yes.
I think
Yeah,
it's
no, I
also
love that.
it's a great way to show just how much Cal has grown in the time between games, right? The first time we fight the Ninth Sister, we don't actually get the kill, just the maiming of the arm and the battle to be resumed another day, and then when they finally do meet, it's like, yeah, this is not actually that tough of a fight for us anymore. Like,
Yeah,
it wasn't that bad for me to get through the Ninth Sister.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, this wasn't. And I've been playing it on Master. Tyler, I think you said you're on Master.
yeah. I'm also playing on Master. I turned it down to Jedi Knight for one optional fight that is absolute dog shit, and then I put it back on Master after that because there is a fight in this game that is bull crap. But we'll talk about it later.
What are your other difficulties that you're playing at, Ryan?
I'm at Jedi Knight.
Chris?
Jedi Knight.
Brian?
We are little babies, and so we are playing in Padawan,
Padawan?
mode because we're
Oh, I
not,
thought you were gonna say you're playing on story mode.
no, but we're not big like Dark Souls, Elden Ring, bash your head against the boss 40 times in a row.
Oh.
Sounds like you got a
See,
fake
this-
ass Star Wars fan over
Yeah,
here.
what the hell's going on?
Come on.
No,
I don't think that
Master needs a Padawan.
these bosses are as bad as Dark Souls, though, even if you have
Not yet.
Yeah.
like, I haven't had one that's like, oh my god, like nothing is
Right.
compared to like the Dark Souls 3 second end boss fight with the brothers. That is absolute horseshit in that battle.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
I
it
can
took
also
me-
say
That took me
Playing
way
on-
longer than the end boss. And I was really
playing on
there's nothing
Master,
like that.
you honestly can't tell that big of a difference. The only difference that I think is noticeable is the amount of damage that you take as a character. And the only reason that I switched it up was for that one specific fight. But like playing the rest of it, that's not optional. Like the main story, it seems incredibly similar. Like it's not a huge leap from one difficulty to the other. But I mean, I haven't played on Padawan, so I don't know what that's like. Maybe you're one-shotting everything.
You're getting hit with
I
a
mean-
Nerf sword, so
At least when it comes to like droids and stuff, there's a lot of one shot kills, and I think that's part of what I like about it is because a lightsaber in a lot of those situations should be a one shot kill, so that almost
Yeah.
feels more realistic than hacking at the same battle droids over and over again.
yeah. I mean, one thing they could
Very
have done
true.
is moved it up like Ghost of Tsushima, where yes, you take more damage, but you also do like it's more realistic.
do
Like you
more,
can
yeah.
one hit sword kill people on the hardest difficulty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you guys on Jedi Master? Are you still one-shotting droids? I assume that's all difficulties.
all of them
battle
except
rifle
for
droids.
Yeah, not
I think
the
it's just the ones with the
yeah.
blasters.
The ones with the melee have a guard meter, so yeah, it takes 2 hits. But
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, it's still just one on any of the ones with the
Yeah, the main droids.
Blaster stance, all those go down with one blaster shot. So,
well, we haven't got there yet. So.
Right, and that is in chapter 3,
here,
sir.
Ryan.
Come on, trailers. Pre-order bonuses were blaster skins. We know blasters.
Okay, if we're talking about that, then I'm talking about I'm going to talk about the last dance.
No, we're not. Yeah,
you watched the trailer, you know what it is anyway.
I didn't watch. Nope.
Cover your ears, baby boy.
No, we're not doing that. Chapter 2.
We're not on chapter 2. We're on chapter 1.
Yeah.
We still haven't
gotten. One goes a long time.
Yeah.
We're not past the prologue.
It's actually not that long, but yeah. So yeah, you fight the ninth sister and kill her, and then it's just a race to escape, as everybody has died except for Bravo and Bode.
Yep.
And I mean, there's nothing real big to talk about. The scenery is awesome. You're getting the mechanics down. I think almost towards the end is when you finally get the split saber. Does that sound correct?
Yeah, near the end of that first chunk.
Because you get you must hold this button to do the weird counter move.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
For the dual wield, because you start off with the single and the double, right?
Right.
Okay. Of the 3 stances, what are you guys using?
Dual and double.
Tyler?
What
stance are you using on the first 3?
Yeah, just dual.
Dual or double?
Whatever everybody's holding
dual
to.
wield. Yeah.
Thank you. I said dual, right? Is that what I said?
Right. Well, I just wanted to clarify. I just wanted to clarify.
Wield, yeah.
Just dual. Just using the dual.
Double is
gaslight you.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? I was like, I said dual,
sure.
right? Am I stupid? I was like, did I have a stroke? I didn't say the right word?
Because double is incredibly I feel double is incredibly overpowered. Like you can fuck shit up very, very easily with double.
In the right situation.
I mean, at least that's how I beat the I was using dual and then I switched to double on the Rancor fight that has been alluded to many times and talked about.
Mm-hmm.
But once I switched to double, I just murdered the living fuck out of him.
Yeah, that was a good call out, Tom. That worked very well for me. I still found myself using dual for more one-on-one combat, but double really is like the king stance in large groups of enemies.
Yeah, I've been using dual wield almost exclusively. I will change to double in a large group of enemies to use the triangle and just cut all the little crabs and stuff, those little enemies. But yeah, that's it. But yeah, I love dual wield. Especially, I got pretty quickly the ability at the top of the dual wield tree where you hold L1 and triangle and you throw both sabers and they bounce a ton of enemies. It's awesome.
Yeah, it rules.
But I can't talk about my main.
Shut up. I don't think we talked about it yet, but one of the things that I love so much about this game is how they give you all of your abilities from the first game up front.
They don't Metroid do.
Yeah, they don't do that typical thing of a sequel where it's like, you forgot how to do everything. It's like, no, you can wall run. You have your climbing gloves where you can climb faster. You have your different stances from the get-go. You have your double
one of the things I'm incredibly happy for is those fucking gloves that you get at the end of Dathomir on the first one where you can wall or you can climb so much faster. I'm like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, it makes moving around the environment so much better. And I'm glad they do because they do it for a good reason, especially when you get to Kobo and it's like, hey, it's open, go and fucking explore. And it makes it so much better where you don't have to kind of do a main path. You can actually go and explore and do more things. It's very, very happy about that. I was kind of worried. I was like, how are they going to start this off? But they did it the right way.
And that is, I think, combat feels really good. Customization's great. The game looks awesome. The characters are really cool so far. The story has me hooked. But above all, the movement in this game feels really good. Whether you're moving around in combat, whether you're platforming around sections, whether it's one of the continuous parkour sections where you're chaining different moves together to get across something, it all just feels so damn good. I always have a smile on my face when I finish a very technical platforming section because it just feels so satisfying and good to do.
Well, that's another thing that we didn't bring up is you get the ascender in this first area.
You had a grappling hook.
Love a grappling hook. Love a grappling hook.
Love a grapple.
Anyway, Chris, what were you saying? You started saying something and I interrupted you.
I was just going to bring up the ascender as part of the movement, but also this game is not most modern games are obsessed with feeling real, feeling heavy, kind of, which I like in most games. But yeah, this game, it's like Cal is light as a feather. He's a Jedi. He can dance around like crazy, and it doesn't matter. It's fine. It feels good.
Yeah, it always feels so good to do a force pull on a rope and swing on it. That's like my favorite thing. I don't know why. I just love the way that feels. Where it's like, oh, hey, this thing is super far away. I'm gonna jump off this cliff, force pull it to me, and then keep it moving. Great.
It's very fun.
It feels even cooler when it's at the end of 2 wall running sections that you had to grapple
Yes.
to get to. Like,
oh yeah, it's so good. And they introduced the wall jump too, where you jump back and forth between walls.
You can Mario up the wall.
Yeah, good.
Was that not in the first game at all?
No.
Oh, interesting.
Nope, that's new. But I do think that the animation for that looks like shit.
Yeah. But I do like that same, like, as you can do the wall jump back and forth, that when you're falling down a long distance, he stabs the lightsaber in and slides all the way down. It is very, very good aesthetic.
That's very cool. I was just going to add with the wall jump stuff, like when I have had issues with traversal, it's been that sometimes, especially on wall jumps back and forth, the camera angles can get pretty wonky in there.
Yeah, if it doesn't stay fixed where you're just going back and forth,
it's become easier sometimes for us because we realized that you don't need 2 walls to do the wall jump. You can just continuously jump up one wall, and so sometimes that's a lot easier for us just with the way the camera angles work. But yeah, I agree with everyone that's talking about how great the traversal in this game is. We had a couple of moments where we got stuck, and there are times where it can feel like there's something very small we're missing, and it takes us like 5-10 minutes to figure out where we're going, and that does break up the flow a little bit. But when you do know where you're going and you know what you're supposed to be doing, like it feels incredible. It's awesome.
Yeah. We should talk about just like exploring the open world. I mean, are we there yet? Are we talking about?
No, we're not there. We didn't make it to Kobo. We are still trying to escape. So yeah. We should also mention that you have Bode at your kind of disposal at this point. He is like a companion that you can tell him to attack a certain person, but he also will just attack. And you can use him to open up traversal areas, like knock a rope down so you can get it, it's cool how
I like how they add like a companion.
Yeah. But so you can actually have him kind of hop around and shoot stuff. So we're escaping. We make it back to the Mantis, and it goes into this very fun escape from, what level is it? Like 2046, I think you are on Coruscant. So you're going up a big tube, and it goes to like the movies, how it's the reverse view of the pilot in the fighters. I think that's really cool. I like how they go that way. Although going up that tube didn't look very good when like the TIE fighters come in. Kind of
looks terrible.
Yeah, it doesn't look great. But Bode breaks off, and it draws someone away, and Bravo gets his ass blown up, dies. So now there's 2 of you left. You escape. Momentous occasion. Only to find out
my note flying out is flying out of Coruscant looks like absolute dog shit. That's my note. There you go.
Quoted. It is quoted.
Yep.
So yeah, you just escape. You give Bode a like tracker beacon so he can find you, so you can square up when it's calmed down, I guess is what they say. But you really find him before anything's calmed down, or he finds you. So there's a gyro something. It's a gyro, right? Something's wrong with the Mantis.
Yeah,
like, oh shit, let's go find Grease. He'll know how to fix it.
Greasy money.
We're all like, why are we flying this ship and not Grease? Because we don't know why none of the people are with us from the original game at this point.
Yeah, and then the first thing they do is like, let's go find the original character in the other game.
Let's go find one of the originals. So you're off to Kobo, which is our main planet of exploration. Well, the only planet of exploration for this chapter. Yay! But you have problems landing and you crash.
The game kind of feels like it's like building to like a moment of like, here's why the crew split up and stuff. But it seems more like just talking to Grease alone that like they're just going to introduce the characters and kind of talk to the character themselves about why they left, and everybody has their own reasons. It doesn't seem like there was like an event, like a traumatic event or anything that split the entire group.
Yeah, it's more like, oh, hey, I needed to go get this thing done. I can't do this with you guys here. I got to do this thing on my own, and blah blah blah. You know, it's not going to be like a big revelation,
like that, yes.
but there's not going to be one specific moment that shattered the crew, and like they all hate each other now. It's just like, no, we realized that we have these other things that we have to take care of.
And Cal is like Will from Stranger Things and just wants to keep playing D&D with his friends.
That's right.
Exactly.
And not grow up because he doesn't like girls. Like what's the other kid?
Will, yeah.
Not Will.
No.
What's the main character's name? Not Will. The other one.
Mike.
Mike. Yeah, because he doesn't like girls. Like Mike. That's what Mike says to him, right?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
I watched the first season of Stranger Things, and that was.
Oh yeah, Mike. Because Mike gets mad at him because he wants to play D&D. He's like, "It's not my fault. You don't like girls," or something like that.
Okay.
They get into a big fight. Spoilers for Stranger Things. Good show. You should watch it.
Yeah, it's a good show.
It is very good.
So anyway, we crash on Kobo. We don't make it anywhere near where Grease's settlement and his cantina. But so this is our first introduction of the main exploration planet, Kobo. And it is very cool looking. Very, very different parts of it. You see giant dinosaur-like creatures.
Yeah, they introduce markings on the map, which is fun. They can make your own icons.
Which I have not done, but yes, you can do.
I have not had to do it very much. The map in this game is really, really good. Like I think it's similar to the one in Fallen Order, but it works really well for 3D Metroid. I've seen 3D Metroid style games that either don't have maps or have very bad maps, but this one is pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty
issue with it. Go ahead.
No, you
I was just gonna say, I'll go. I'm taking over. I guess I'm grateful then that there's a map at all, but I despise the map system in these games. It's maybe my least favorite thing about Fallen Order and Survivor so far is how difficult to navigate the map is. And maybe we're doing it wrong. I don't know, but like there's these options to place beacons and stuff. And when I play a game like this, I expect that when I back out of the map, I'm going to see that beacon. So I know which direction I should be going. And I don't. And so it's like, what's the point of putting the beacon on the map?
Yeah, and there's also no mini map for the beacon either. So it's like, if I place beacon, maybe a mini map will pop up. And that's my big issue. That's what I was going to say is I hate the fact it's like, hey, give me this map and these beacons. But it's like, I still don't know where the fuck I'm going. You know, it's like it's hard to navigate. Like if you don't know what direction you're facing technically, and then you have to constantly close the map, open it back up to kind of get a lay of the land and where you're facing versus what the terrain is and stuff. Because the map is huge.
Yeah, you know? give me some Ghost of Tsushima leaves or something to direct Cal. You know, use the Force somehow to make the path a little bit clearer on where I'm trying to get to. Yeah,
but the thing I do like about the map is it shows the areas that you haven't been to yet with those yellow markers like undiscovered location. I like that a lot because it's like, oh, okay, I haven't been over here yet. Let me go explore over there.
Yeah,
then I got to orient myself and figure out, okay, well, how do I get there? So
yeah, and you know, if it's red in that area, don't bother going that way because you don't have the skill to get that door open, lift activated, whatever it is. So it's like,
and the second
don't waste your time.
Yeah, the second you get that ability, all the stuff that you can interact with that you've already found that was red will turn green.
Yeah.
Thank God for fast travel. I feel like I haven't really had a strong time getting lost.
That in the first one,
no,
which was
shout out to fast travel
because I'll just like figure out what's a meditation point that's close enough, and then it's a lot easier to navigate when I'm only 2 sections of the map away instead of 8 sections.
Yeah, that's what I started doing is doing that process, but it's just. What's the point of having a marker? You know what I mean?
Can you see it? And I'm not sure. Can you see it if you bring up the little, not the full BD binoculars, but just like the BD view? Like if you just hit down on the D-pad?
That's a great fucking question. I don't know.
Yeah.
That is a great question because I've only used that view the one time they told me to and never used it again.
Yeah, I've never used it again.
I'm definitely going to try.
You will definitely be using
There's probably
that
people
later.
yelling at us right now as they watch this. Saying, you idiot.
Mora.
Oh. So,
which they say anyway, but
you're not far enough yet. But you will definitely be pressing down on the D-pad a lot more.
Okay.
Jeez, spoilers.
Spoilers.
I'm just saying. I mean, you can do not doing
it.
Down on the D-pad.
Brian's always down. That's what I say about him.
like
That's right.
Tyler's prom night.
Right.
All right, so we're moving forward. We find our main group of, I guess, enemies in the Bedlam Raiders who have repurposed battle droids, which battle droids are super fun to interact with. They are having their own little dumb conversations. I've
Yeah.
actually thrown a thermal detonator back at one, and he tried to catch it and bumbled it like 8 times before it explodes on him. Is hilarious.
That's
I love the
excellent.
conversations where they're just like, they're the only ones left, and they're like, "What the fuck am I gonna do?" And they start running away. It's very funny. Like the battle droids are hilarious.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
We had a situation where we were coming down a side of a cliff, and there was one droid just overlooking the cliff, so we snuck up on him, and he was just having a conversation with himself, but we used force push to send him over, and he just turns around midair and screams, "No way!" And that was like, I immediately clipped that. I was like, that's incredible.
Yeah, they're very they're good. Even with the Empire, just the troopers having conversations. They're good conversations, and I haven't really heard a lot of repeats. Like there's a couple, but it seems like they have enough varied depending on how many enemies are in the area and having the conversation of what they should be. But they do a lot of, we're gonna put this one guy just by a cliff. Like you find later towards the end of this chapter, there's one just like sitting. There's a the swamp trooper, I think he is, or the scout, and he's just like sitting on the edge. Like he's sitting and just like staring off, and he just bye-bye, flies away. But yes, enjoy the mechanics so far of all of the enemies. They're pretty fun.
Yeah,
You
it
also
never
have
gets
the
old. Like
wildlife.
it never gets old force pulling a stormtrooper to you and just one-shotting him. It
Oh
always
yeah,
feels so
that's
satisfying.
my key. Anytime there's a flame trooper, I'm pulling right into him and just stabbing him right through the chest because I hate the flame troopers so much. Like I'll just pull you to our immediately kill you because I know you're a pain in my ass.
Is there anything more satisfying in this game than force pulling a melee enemy to you and then parrying them at the right moment?
Oh, the ones that like dig in and kind of hold it, and then you can get it. So it's funny because if you don't pull long enough, they won't jump at all.
Right.
So you have to keep going to a certain amount when they fly at you. And even the I want to say it's the weird looking giant lizards on the ground, look like turds. I think they do it too. I know one of the wildlifes will hold back and then fly at you like that too. I think it's them. But yes, so there's the wildlife.
Yeah.
In the first one, I did not care for the wildlife enemies at all. They were very, well, at least like the big spiders were assholes. For sure.
Yeah. They haven't been much of an issue for us. The only one that my wife doesn't like, at least, is the sort of praying mantis ones that cloak themselves and then try to jump scare you.
Yeah, they do such a good job with that though. Like popping out of nowhere.
She just gets so annoyed because she hates the jump scare every single time. But yeah, they do a very good job of disguising them. Like we very often do not see it coming at all.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
I think all the enemy variety is fantastic so far. They give you a lot of different wildlife variety up front on Kobo, and then between the troopers and the droids and like the raiders, like there are a lot of different enemies just in that first area. It's crazy. It's really fun. It keeps combat different because you constantly have to change up your combat and how you're going to approach that enemy.
Yes, combat is very fun. Enemies are very fun.
It's good.
So we make it through this like canyon and swampy area. You're introduced to like the little robot droid mines that will pop up, and you can pick them or force pull them and then whip them at stuff. That's pretty fun, especially when you throw them at the enemies.
Yeah, great puzzle design with those two. How they incorporate them into the environment. It's fun.
Yep. And then we get to a wide view of the settlement once we make it there, and there's a lot. Like when I first made it there, after just playing the first one, when they show it, I'm like, it's kind of overwhelming for what they have available to you. Because the first one was more like just follow the path, and eventually, like it'll circle around. And it wasn't like open where you could actually just go wherever. So at this point is when I decided to, hey, let's go in this cave and see what's in this cave. Oh, it's fucking Rancor.
Yeah, I like it because it becomes Uncharted 4 when you like get to Madagascar and it pans out over the valley and it's just like, go explore this wide open area. You can go to the main objective if you want and go straight there, or you can just go around and explore and see what's around. And I love that change up from the last game where it's very much more linear. You need to go here, go here. You don't have the ability to go here yet. Like they keep you on a straight path for the most part. And this is just like from the jump, as soon as you get to Kobo and get through that first section and get to the opening shot, you know, and then it's just go have fun in this playground. And they give you, and like having all those tools at your disposal, like I said, from the first game, it's great. It's a great way to fucking approach game design. Just give me all the things and just let me go do stuff. Let me go explore and be in this world.
And it's not like a big enough area where it feels daunting to be like, it's not open world. Like it's still contained enough where it seems like, you know, there's enough stuff littered around that you can find without it being just sprawling areas of just nothing.
Especially with like in chapter 2 when you don't have all the, you know, exploration tools. There's a lot of paths that are like, okay, I can worry about that later because I can't even get down there just yet.
Yeah, they're very smart with the dialogue and also being able to check the map and see, okay, that's red. I can't interact with it. I can just move on for now.
Can I, real quick, this should have been brought up ages ago, like when we first loaded up the game and we were presented with all the options, the accessibility options. I want to applaud this game for giving you the option to turn off puzzle hints. Thank God for that. And even when you turn them off, it's like, hey, do you want the hint? But it asks you. It's like, hey, yes or no. And you get to tell it, no, I don't want the hint. I can figure this out. So more games, please. And I mean, especially God of War, if you're hearing this, give me the option to turn off your puzzle hints. I don't need it right now.
And Horizon. Horizon is awful with it as well.
Horizon's also, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely turned that off right away in the main menu before even starting.
Yeah. I didn't even look at the options, but like the very first time that I was stuck on a puzzle for more than like 2 minutes, they just bring up an option like, would you like BD to give you a hint? And then you say no, and it's like, okay, you can hold down on the D-pad at any point you want to ask BD for a hint if you want, though.
Yeah.
But no hints. He doesn't give you hints from beating the Rancor. How long did it take you, those who I didn't tell, to throw the bone in the mouth of the Rancor?
I never did it.
Call back to Return of the Jedi, Luke sticking the bone in the mouth of the Rancor. Fucking deadpan, you guys are just fucking...
I don't even think
I know what I'm talking about, right, Ryan? Or Brian?
Yes, I do.
I don't think I used the bone to kill it.
Okay, well, you can use it once to get a couple hints or hits.
Yeah, I know. I tried it, but when I finally did beat it, I never did use it. I just kicked the shit out of it.
Because he's so good on his 45th try.
Yeah, once I got rid of those frame rate dips and got around that.
And dropped the difficulty.
No, not on that one.
Oh.
Yeah,
but
we fought it 2 or 3 times and like lost, but it felt doable. And then the 4th time is where he started doing his insta-kill attacks on us.
Where he munches in.
Yeah, and that was like attempts 4 through 10. I think like on the 15th or 16th, it was one of those like, all right, one more try before bed. Okay, one more try before bed. We finally ended up getting it.
Kill him.
Oh my God, yeah, it definitely was a struggle. Even like I said, we're playing on baby mode for babies, so it's still a struggle for us.
Yeah, he never hit me with that munch move, but the ground pound move also killed me in one hit at that point in the game. Like it just didn't have enough health or whatever. So learning how to dodge that, which is very useful because jumping is a useful tool for dodging things. You need to learn again.
Yeah. And there's a pretty decent perk reward for defeating him too. The where you
the
deal
poncho.
more. No, that's the fucking frog.
That's the frog.
Oh, you're right. Sorry.
This perk is the one where you damage their block or stamina meter more.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is a new thing. You get perks in this game now, which you didn't get in the first one, which is a cool thing.
And I haven't taken that perk off since I got it.
Nope. Yeah.
I did.
I still have it on until I opened up enough slots. That's another nice thing is you can get more perk slots because each one costs a certain amount, like 1, 2, or 3, or 4.
Yeah, it's like a badge in Paper Mario.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
You know, people who play Paper Mario, badge power.
I mean, it is kind of.
I know what you're talking about, Tyler.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I did. I used that one for a while, and then I got one that made your like your lightsaber throw deal more damage. And like I said, I love the move that's like throwing both your lightsabers and they bounce around. So I put that on for a while. And then you can buy one that just boosts how much experience you get. And I'm always about the future investment, so I just have that on there.
So then you're going to
That's
love
what I
one
got.
that I have now. It's not really spoilers because it's a perk, but I have one called
It's a
Gambit.
spoiler.
It's not a spoiler. It's called Gambit because you were in the area where you get it right now, so you can fuck off.
Whatever.
But it's just a perk. It's called Gambit, so you get more experience as well, but when you die, you cannot recover the mid experience. So you can't go back to the spot and get it and then be like, oh, you get all this, but you get more experience. So you couple that with the other experience mod and you get a shit ton. Like I have almost every tree maxed out now.
Jesus.
To the point where I don't need the Gambit one anymore, but for some reason I still have it on just because I'm used to it. But it's very fun. And it's very cool that, they add these perks. So depending on how you play, like I don't throw my saber that much. So Chris throwing his saber, having the one that boosts that damage, it's nice how they make it. You can play your own way in this one, whereas the first one, you're pretty much just, you have these styles. This is what you're going to use. And it's not really a stance in the first one. It's just, well, the single and the double were, but the dual wielding was more just a move that broke them apart instead of having a full tree of this is how you use this. But
yes,
it's very customization and for how you play is very, very good. So anyway, after the Rancor, if you go to the Rancor, if you don't go to the Rancor, then you're probably just beelining it to the Cantina, which upon getting there is probably one of my favorite characters in the game when Turgle gets whipped out of the Cantina. Just the fact that he's Donald Ducking it with just a blaster belt on. If PC people make a mod where you play as Turgle with a lightsaber, I would definitely buy it on PC just to play as Turgle, who is a weird looking frog man. And just hilarious, and I don't know, I enjoy him. But yeah, he's getting kicked out of a cantina by some of the Bedlam Raiders. I don't remember what the initial guy who you murder and stand up for Turgle, his name is. But yeah, there's basically a boss fight. You get to the cantina, and then you meet Ravis.
Pyloon Saloon.
Yes, at Pyloon Saloon. You meet Ravis after you get to this part, and you realize that he's one of the bigger baddies at this point, because he just says, "Oh, I concede. I will walk away in peace," because he knows what you are. He knows you're a Jedi, so he knows if he surrenders, you're not going to murder him because you're not Sith. I guess he doesn't know that you're not Sith, but
he assumes.
It's like, well, your saber's not red.
Yes,
so.
Which is clearly an indicator.
He sees him stand up for somebody who is getting,
so he knows he is essentially living by a code, which Ravis essentially lives by as well, which you find out a little bit later in this chapter, kind of. So inside you find Grease, who has been hiding, and you meet Monk, who is the bartender.
One of the coolest designs of a character in
love Monk. Absolutely.
A very long time.
Yeah.
Incredible character design.
Since Turgle, some people would say.
No, I think Turtle
and Doma. I like Doma's design a lot too.
I wanted to point out too that Turgle is voiced by Richard Horvitz, who's the voice of Invader Zim, which is really cool. He was
you can definitely tell it when he's talking too. Yeah,
he revealed that on Twitter after the game came out, and you could tell he was just like so excited to be involved in Star Wars. So it was really cool.
Yes, I really enjoy Turtle. But yes, you meet Monk and Grease, and you tell him about the Mantis, and he's obviously extremely upset with you because it's his ship.
And Grease grew his hair out.
Yeah, and is missing an arm that has now been replaced, which...
He's got a middle arm now.
Who the fuck knows what happened to that arm, because they don't tell you.
It's got a cool blue suede velvety suit on.
It's like he's got a nice jogging apparel.
Yeah.
Or jogging with
a gold chain around his neck.
Yep. Very old man. And then he's got this like hover wheelchair, but he doesn't go anywhere in it. He just sits in it. It doesn't like move, but it's got jets on it. But he's always in the same spot. But anyway, he's like, I made this room up just for you. Go take a nap
just
down
in case you ever showed up.
That felt a little weird.
Well, he wanted, it feels like the way he says it is that he's been trying to get you to come there for a long time, and you just keep ignoring him because you're obsessed with the Empire. So you go down there, take a nap, and then he wakes up. You wake up basically. He's just right in your face, like watching you sleep. I just want it's not creepy at all. But he sends you to these like caves underneath the settlement to go look around. Oh, he's got the gyro down there. That's what
The
it is.
gyro,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you got to go looking for this part, and you find essentially High Republic tech from the olden days.
This was super cool because all the new High Republic stuff that Disney's been putting out is awesome, and I had no idea they were going to be referencing it so much in this game. So, like the first mention we got of it, I was like, "Oh, that's a cool Easter egg," and now it's like, "Oh, actually, the game is kind of centered around
Yep.
this lore."
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and,
that's pretty cool.
I've been talking to Tom a lot in the chat for a while. It's like I'm so sick of like the Skywalker stuff, and
Yeah.
they've talked about Old Republic and stuff. I was like, I've been saying it for a while. It's like I need more High Republic. I want to see what it was like when the Jedi were like up in their prime, and
Well,
and so
essentially,
it's
the
cool
Old
that-
Republic is the High Republic. It's just the way they termed it. But yes, the game is just called.
You know what I mean.
Right.
Well, I feel like the Old Republic, like Knights of the Old Republic, is like thousands of years ago, whereas High Republic is
Yes.
more like 400 to 500 years ago. So
Yeah.
it's a more
But it's
recent
still that same
Old
era
Republic. But
where,
yeah.
It's
I
the
know,
more recent Old Republic.
Yeah. At Celebration, they put out a new time because they put out a new timeline of Star Wars every 5 years, but it has like 9 eras, and the era right before like the Skywalker era is the High Republic. So
Yeah.
And I think aren't they making a series on the High Republic?
They're making a
That's-
movie. I know that.
Yeah,
I thought it was
what
a
that
series, but okay.
It's the Acolyte show that's coming out next year that I mistakenly referenced earlier. So that's the High Republic show. It takes place 100 years before Episode 1, and it's rumored is that it's about 2 twins who are separated at birth. One is trained by the Jedi, one goes to the dark side.
Well, that's very Star Wars: The Old Republic MMO.
Yes,
with one of the
there's literally, like, a
DLCs.
trailer that tells that story. Yeah, but it seems like that's what the thrust of this show might be about. But it stars Amandla Stenberg from Hunger Games, and Carrie-Anne Moss is going to be in it from the Matrix movie. She's Trinity. So I'm really excited about that show, but that's coming out next year.
Yeah, I looked it up because I grabbed the first book in the High Republic series because when Tyler and I were talking about it, I'm like, well, I'm gonna start. We should listen to the books at the same time, so we can talk about them. But he doesn't give a flying fuck, and I literally listened to the first 2 chapters. I think.
Time to turn Game Club into book club.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm excited for anything. I loved the Old Republic MMO. That was very fun. I enjoyed that a lot. I know it wasn't highly played by a lot of people, but I had a ton of fun with it. Anyway, High Republic, we find Z. We don't know a Z yet, but she's tangled up in these wires and vines. And upon touching her, Cal does this little force sensitive flashback area where you meet Centauri Kree, and you see her for the first time, and she's like, you're like first person as Z, and she's like, I'm gonna wipe your fucking memory banks.
She does it just like that. It's very aggressive.
You're fucking
That's
going
such a
down.
cool shot. Like that cinematic rules, and there's like all kinds of shit happening up in the atmosphere because I believe that they're getting attacked at that time, and she's like, I need you to go and do this mission, and I'm gonna wipe your data banks so you don't remember anything except for this specific mission.
Well, I think she just
has
wipes how to pass through the nebula, I think is the idea.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, not everything, just how to navigate the nebula to get to Tanalorr.
Yeah.
And then gives her a tuner key, which she then has as you come back and free her.
Which is what Turgle was
Yes, what he had
beat up for,
initially,
because
he
he sold
had
a fake one.
one to Ravis, who was very pissed off.
Yeah.
And he's like, damn it, why don't you wear pants, but you put a towel around you after the shower? That makes no sense.
Does Ravis give anybody else Adam Smasher vibes? Cyberpunk fans? Feels very much like Adam Smasher. to me.
Yeah, that's a
little bit,
great call out.
I was gonna ask what people's general vibe on Ravis is. When they first introduced him, I was worried he was like the big bad of the game, and I think we're gonna reveal who the big bad of the game is very shortly. But,
Yeah.
Yes.
because I was not I thought he was cool, but I was not super impressed with him at first. I was like, we could probably take this guy in a fight right now if we had to.
He seemed like an invincible character. You know, like
Yeah.
he would be in the show Invincible or the comic book Invincible. He
Mm.
also seemed like a Buzz Lightyear villain to me. I was like, this is somebody that Buzz Lightyear would fight, you know?
It's Emperor Zurg.
Yeah, it's Emperor Zurg's fucking crony.
So later in the game, his character design gets much better. I'll tell you that right now. It is he's a very good.
Stop alluding to
Tyler's
stuff
so
we
mad.
haven't seen yet.
I didn't ruin anything. I just said you will probably like it.
Stop alluding to anything.
Whatever. Anyway,
He
you
knows
free her.
Chris is on my side.
And you get the. Do you pull those weird orbs at this point? No, I think so.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
That's how you free
Yeah,
her.
yeah,
You have to
you
move the
open the
bridges. You make those bridges. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So yeah, there's these High Republic meditation chambers that you can find sprinkled throughout the map. Have these weird orb things that you can move around, and they activate bridges, raise things, puzzle things. That's their main puzzle.
Also, Z is
Addition.
my second favorite designed character so far. I love her.
I don't
design
like
as well.
how Turgle is not on this list of yours.
It's fine. He's just a frog, dude. I mean, he's
He's
frog.
hilarious.
Where's Scuba
He's fine.
Stev on your list? Tyler?
Scuba Stev.
Who
That's-
is?
He's great.
I mean,
Oh,
Scuba
yeah, I
Steve,
just-
right?
I
We
just-
all know that
Yeah,
this is Scuba
okay,
Steve.
Thank you.
I
Thank you.
just
Yes,
did find
yes.
him
As
the last
soon
time I
as
played.
As soon as they introduced Scuba Stev, I started cracking up and had to explain to my wife, like, this is clearly
Scuba
a Scuba
Steve, damn you!
reference.
From Big Dead, yeah.
So
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, like what a weird pull though, but it's so
Yes.
funny.
Yes, that's
100%.
hilarious. And he's
Um,
essentially your fisherman as you get
yeah.
later for your
Uh,
tank.
Yeah, your
Going
fish
back to
tank
what
inside
Tyler
the
was
saloon.
saying about loving Z's design, I agree. Like, and it feels like because that High Republic is the era that comes before, like when you look at her, it's almost like she looks like she was designed by someone making Star Wars in like the 40s or the 50s. Like it's got
Yeah,
that kind of
like an automaton type of deal.
like almost Art Deco kind of design to her
Sure.
with the
Yeah.
silver paneling. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I agree with you. Really cool design on Z.
A lot of the character designs in this they're very
The
not
rule. It's so good.
seen. Yeah. So
It's not normal. It's not. You're not getting your typical Star Wars, like the typical characters, just not Wookiees running all over the place and stuff. It's like these are brand new designs that you haven't seen before. And
Well, there's a
it's-
reason you don't see Wookiees all over the place.
you get what I'm
Apparently, he
saying.
doesn't
It's
know
just-
what
it's
the
just-
reason is, but we'll get.
it's just a point of
Okay.
reference.
Anyway, so you free her, and then she gives you her tuner key, which then allows you to open all these other meditation chambers and progress in the story. As you head out, you go back to the cantina where, surprise, surprise, Bode has arrived and is talking to Grease. And they're like, "Hey, we're cool. Who's this fucking weirdo? Oh, he's a friend of mine that I replaced because you fuckers left me for a reason we don't know."
Have
But
you
yeah,
found all of the meditation chambers on Kobo? I think there's like 8 or 9 of them.
I haven't found
So,
anywhere near all.
Speaking of that, there is an area you go in where you have to find all of them, which then opens up
Correct.
this giant vault. Which no, I have not. I still have 3 I have to find.
Yeah, I think I've done 4 of them because there's like 9 of them. I think 8 or 9.
I don't
Wow.
remember.
I
I
think
think I've done
yeah,
3 or
done,
4.
like, we've done 2, I think. So
Yeah,
we
I've
gotta
done, like,
start
2 or
getting
3.
You have to go and find the others, but they're scattered throughout, and I want to know what's inside that vault.
Yeah, I haven't made it in there yet, but I can't tell you anyway because you're yelling at me just for hinting at things,
Yeah, because you shut up.
which don't even like
Um,
revolve around anything.
It doesn't
Here's-
matter.
Oh, I'm gonna like his
Here's-
character sign. I don't want to fucking know.
Here's
He's a piece of
question
shit.
for everyone but Tom, because I'm afraid Tom knows more than we do.
Ryan might.
Ryan might.
Tom knows more
Y'all-
than I do.
Y'all trust Bode? Do we feel like Bode's on the up
Oh.
and up? I'm a little worried about this guy.
No, he seems
I-
fine.
Okay, all right. I don't know.
I'm also a little suspicious of just like, I don't know. He found you really quickly. He seems like really on board with everything, even though
That's
I mean
the
his
thing.
motivations have almost instantly changed where he really needed money for his family, but now I guess because it's a safe place for his family, he's interested in
Yeah.
getting through the nebula.
I mean, I
but-
think that's why I
he's a
would be
little
worried
fast.
about him is because he's only concerned about his daughter. Where I feel like if something comes down the pipeline that would lead him. By the way, Bode is still normal for me, so
Okay.
nothing has happened. So I'm not
Spoiler.
spoiling anything.
I don't know. That is a spoiler.
It's not a spoiler
I don't know.
because I still have more to go. But that's the only thing that
Because
worries
just the
me
way
about
that
his character is that
I mean, just from the way that they've introduced him, it felt like they actually had like a good camaraderie. It didn't seem like it was ever going to be some type of relationship where he was going to end up betraying him, especially like the fact that they keep him alive out of the other 5 or the other 4 that are there. And like you make it through that scenario and you lose your whole crew and then he ends up meeting back up. It seemed like a genuine interaction to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they also say that like, that's Bode's first mission with them, and he's kind of just contracting, for the money or whatever. And like the fact that he is the only one that survives that encounter instantly like makes Cal more trusting of him because like he's the only one left from the kind of crew, even if he was new. So I feel like Cal trusts him more than he probably should at this point for how little they really know each other. And I feel like they could really twist the knife later by making Bode betray him. But,
and he conveniently leaves on the escape to draw off TIE fighters. And then Bravo dies, maybe. But yeah, like my concern would be like he wants to do anything for his daughter to keep her safe. So Empire making a deal with him or somebody making a deal with him later.
Maybe they have her daughter and he's trying to pay off a debt or something. Yeah.
Maybe the Hutts have her.
Mm-hmm.
I understand the suspicions.
Bravo would still be alive right now. Because it takes him between 3 and 4.
What's that, Ryan?
It just never gave me that kind of vibe.
I understand the suspicions, but I still trust him for now.
Yeah. I mean, he definitely I love their friendship. Like the way they interact is fantastic. He's got big like Karth vibes from the original KOTOR, which we mentioned a little bit at the top of the show. Just like kind of your standard, companion that is there with you from the start of the game. So I might be reading too much into it and like kind of hoping they subvert that trope, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Interesting that Ryan, #1 Survivor backstabber, trusts this guy implicitly.
Just the yeah. Ryan and Chris both participated in a game we ran on our server where we basically mimicked the TV show Survivor, and the winner got a copy of Jedi Survivor, and Ryan backstabbed all of his friends just to finish in second place.
2.
Not even to win.
Yeah.
You feel good about yourself, Ryan?
Yeah, I do. I played the game of Survivor I wanted to play.
Hey, you know what? You gotta compliment somebody who stands by their convictions.
They're play to win.
That's right.
So yes, after getting back up and Bode has arrived, essentially Bode goes to protect Grease while Grease repairs the Mantis, and you are headed off to the heart of the forest to get the forest array lit up and started. And yeah, here we go. Which is more of these orb things once you get there to like dissipate this weird
Kobo
purpley black Kobo matter spores that will suffocate the living shit out of you if you crawl in them for too long and you
It's
die.
so fucking fun pushing people into it though and watching them choke.
Oh yeah. Yes.
How did I not think to do that?
Yeah, that stormtrooper that's sitting in the middle.
Yeah.
You could just push him into it and he just suffocates and gets fucked up by it. It's awesome.
It's genius.
Yeah, I love that whole section, like doing the forest array and like moving the lasers around to like make a pathway, and that giant ass like raven type thing that's like sitting up on the perch and it like knocks you down. And that whole area is so cool. I like that
giant
a lot.
creepy bird.
Yeah.
Yeah, so more puzzles with the weird round orby things. Making through that, there's nothing like super special like happening in the area, just your end goal of making it.
But it's just more like High Republic like architecture and stuff, which is it's a cool design. I think that's why I wanted more of that stuff in Star Wars, is because they have such a sleek design to all of their architecture and their clothing and stuff. It's interesting. It's a different vibe than what we're used to.
Speaking of clothing, Z mentions how you're a Jedi, but you're dressed very strangely because you don't have the robes or anything on. I mean, I guess at this point, whatever you unlocked as your clothing set is not a Jedi attire. But yes, Brian, you were saying.
Sorry, no, for that conversation, we were wearing the hermit Obi-Wan outfit too, which is funny 'cause
Oh,
that's very
very.
Jedi
So you,
looking.
yeah. So,
What I was going to ask was for the folks who have done more of the meditation chambers, which is I think all of you have probably done more than I have. Are they all pretty
Breath of
consistent
the
as
Wild
those like
shrines.
ball and
Yeah.
bridge puzzles, or is
No.
there like some mix
Yeah,
up?
they're different.
Okay.
They're all different. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
That's awesome
it's
to
exactly
hear.
what Chris just said. They are Breath of the Wild shrines.
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool.
They're cool.
That's
There's
fantastic to hear because we
some fun
enjoyed
ones.
that first one, yeah, but it was like if I have to do this like 15 times, like that's gonna get old pretty quick. So I'm glad to hear that they're different.
Yeah. There's one in that section. It involves fans in a weird way, kind of like on these blocks.
Yeah.
And you have to like it's fun. It's they're not, and they're pretty quick and easy.
yeah,
I
they're
mean,
none of them like super long or like.
Yeah.
It's all like a drop down, maybe 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes of
There was
figuring
one
the
with
puzzle out.
the bridges where you had to like shoot that orb or whatever across the bridges, and that one was kind of annoying to me.
Okay.
But it was fine.
Yeah, none of them were too like in depth.
No.
There are the force tears. Some of those get a little rough.
Some of those are quite difficult,
Yes.
like the double
Oh.
frogs. Should we
Yeah,
talk about
I've-
Spawn about that?
Not those frogs.
I've heard about the force tears online a little bit, but I don't think we've seen them yet. Do you
Yep.
have to do something to unlock those?
No.
or-
So the first one I found was in
No, you see him.
Kobo. It's
Okay.
behind a waterfall. It's the first one
Yeah.
that I found, I think.
Yep. Yep.
Okay,
Same.
so we just
That's
haven't
still-
been paying close enough attention, I guess.
No,
That's
and some
still
of
my
them are
favorite one,
like,
too.
yeah, some of them are obstacle based, and other ones are there's a
Enemies.
shit ton of enemy waves, and you can only use this to defeat them.
Yep.
And they're all timed, so you can like, or they're not
Gotcha.
timed, but
They have a timer.
stopwatch. Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd be like, haha, I did this faster than you. You fucking suck at Star Wars.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
there's no like leaderboards or anything that I could see. Maybe they'll introduce those at the end of the game or something.
Maybe.
Just like give you a list. But yeah, it's kind
Yeah.
of weird that they time them. But then, like, I was expecting, like, when I finished the obstacle one, I did not do the best job at it. So I was like, oh, I'll go back and get the gold or whatever. But there's no like bronze, silver, gold or anything. They just time it because they
Which
can.
I'm fine with. That they don't
Yeah.
have time trials on it.
Yeah, they don't
Yeah,
need to
'cause
do that.
I couldn't imagine beating my head against the wall trying to fight those stupid ass frogs.
For the combat ones, especially. Yeah, I really like the obstacle one a lot, though.
Yeah, there's more obstacle ones that are really fun and get more challenging for sure. But yeah, those are fun. So you are in the High Republic facility. You get to the top to turn on the array, and you find a Bacta tank with a one-armed man floating inside.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow, Dagon Gera returned.
So you touch the tank, and you get another flashback of Centauri Kree and another Jedi explorer, Dagon Gera, mentioned, as they're discussing building a temple on Tanalorr, which is you have to essentially navigate this impossible nebula to get to. So it's hidden essentially from everything.
Well, Dagon
Um,
wants to build a temple, right? And then like the Jedi Council is like they're trying to vote on whether to build it there or not.
Yeah, I see mine blurs a little bit for how much of the story is told here
Yes.
for this temple.
Yeah, I think Tyler's
that-
got it. And then as they're working on their decision is when the attack kind of happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very impatient. And Centauri
he
Kree's
would
like,
be.
well, you better be patient if you're going to teach younglings. And he's like,
Yeah. Who, by the way, the voice actor that does Dagon, Cody Fern, I don't know if anybody's seen him in anything, but mostly he's in American Horror Story.
Oh,
I've seen him, and he's a very like good, creepy, kind of like stone faced, like very soft spoken. Like he talks how he does as Dagon, which is just this very like, something's not right with him.
Yeah, I don't like his
Those are the
design.
characters
in that
he
flashback.
typically
I didn't
plays.
realize that was him. That's awesome. I know exactly what you're talking about. I just Googled
He's
him.
like
Yeah,
the
that's very cool.
warlock in the witch series one, I think.
Yeah,
American Horror Story.
and then he's like the Antichrist in
Yes.
later season 2. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, he's very good. So immediately upon, it doesn't take long to figure out, hey, this is the main bad guy, because upon like 5 minutes after leaving, he bleeds his lightsaber to turn it red. And he's a very good fighter for only having one arm.
Yeah, I did not like his
Is he-
design in the flashback at all. But like when you release him from the tank and like you start fighting, I'm like, oh, the design's actually it works for me.
this
Like,
was
it looks red. So.
a solid fight. And I think why I love Jedi Knight, because like I only had to do it twice. It wasn't beat my head against anything. It was like, okay, the first time he had me because I don't know all his tells yet, but the second time around, it was no problem. To the point where I have my favorite video gaming sin of I was whooping his ass the second time around, and then the cutscene afterward, he's like, "I'm fine. I'm gonna get away." Ha ha ha.
Yeah. Yeah, I hate that.
It also
yeah,
took me 2 tries, by the way.
Yeah, I did it in 1, which kind of made me feel like I should turn up the difficulty because the fight felt pretty easy to me. But I mean, I'm playing on Jedi Knight. Like I have the option to make it more difficult if I wanted to. So that's not like a hit against gamer.
Yeah, I haven't had too many problems on any of the. I think most of the boss fights have been ones on Master, which is why I'm thinking I'm gonna up it to Grandmaster, just because. I don't know. It's some of the boss fights are harder than the other, depending on what.
It's usually just like unblockables that end up killing me because like there's a lot of unblockables where like if they get you with it, it's a one-shot kill.
Right.
And that's what ended up happening with that one. I believe he has a move where he grabs you and like pulls you towards him and stabs you or something like that. Does that sound right?
I don't know. I never saw that.
I thought he had
to answer this question.
The boss fights that are actually hard are
like stab you in the chest.
Like the big monsters, like the Rancor and
the wildlife ones.
Yeah, the optional ones.
Yeah, for the most part, those have been more challenging than the ones that actually followed through the story. But they probably did that purposefully because not making the path that you follow is so that you can get through it, even if you are on a harder one. Where the optional ones that you seek out, they're going to make more difficult just because.
Yeah, which makes me hope that they have like an optional, I don't know, Jedi fight or something. Like they could even just put it in a Force tear, just like, hey, actually fight Vader, and it's really hard now or something.
Yep,
it could work, probably. But yeah, so as you finish this fight, Ravis shows up on one of the old battle droid or Clone War, more Clone War-esque ships.
Yeah, like the troop carrier.
Yeah. And he's just like, "Hey, come with us. I've been looking." So you find out that Ravis has been looking for.
Well, they had made a deal.
Was that Ravis or Turgle?
Very big difference.
Ravis had made a deal with Dagon to come back and rescue him or whatever.
It's not a deal per se.
Hey, Tom.
Well, all we know at this point is that they said they made a deal.
How about you just let me say what happened? Because I know what happened in this chapter.
It's interesting.
A boring version of what happened is what Tyler is saying.
And I guess we don't know timelines for how old characters are. Ravis could be hundreds of years old, but like, how did he and Dagon make a deal if Dagon's been, stuck in a Bacta tank for hundreds of years potentially? Like, how old is Ravis? Was a question we had after that moment. Yeah, like
how long has Dagon been in that tank?
Right.
I mean, we don't even really know how old. We don't even really know how old Cal is. I mean, not that he has anything to do with the High Republic stuff, but like, we don't even get an idea of like how many years have passed. Because Cal was like, I don't know, probably in his 20s in Fallen Order, I assume. Is he 30 now?
I thought it was a 5-year time jump.
It was a 5-year time jump.
Yeah.
Okay. Did they just say that in pre-release or something? I don't remember.
No, it was stated somewhere in the game. I don't remember specifically, but
yeah, I knew it had been years. I didn't know how many though.
Said 5 years. Cal is now 372. He just looks great for his age.
It's like a Wookiee, aged very well. So you turn on the Forest Array, and it's back to the Mantis, and that's essentially the end of chapter 2, or where we're calling it what the stopping point would have been if none of us had broken it.
Well, and the next objective is to go and find Seer and talk to Seer because you want to find out more information about Dagon. And
you do get access to the Nico. Is that what it's called? Neko, the mount.
Yeah.
Before the end of this chapter, though.
You can ride fucking
the gliding birds as well.
Yeah,
so good.
And you can tame the little furry things, but there's no point in it.
Yeah,
you can pet them.
You get a trophy for petting them, but
yeah, there is one that you have to tame because he's like blocking a thing. You have to pull one of those I don't know,
Oh.
one of those long ropes and attach it to a thing to keep a door open.
Oh,
and you
sure.
walk in. So you have to tame
Yeah.
it.
So
You can
there's a
also tame
lot
the
of-
giant dinosaur you saw at the beginning, and he takes you to a little area with a
Yeah.
hidden item.
Mm-hmm.
That's your
I did not
first
know that.
rumor.
Yep.
How do you feel about the rumor system of talking to NPCs and
I like
them
it.
giving you? I mean, it's a
Give
nice
me-
little
give me a
side
hint.
quest. Yeah.
Yeah, give me a hint. Tell me where I need to go.
Yeah, can we find them without hearing about rumors from townsfolk?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Yeah, because I did
we-
one, and it was I went and did one. And it's like, oh hey, you should go check this out. And
Yeah, like, I
Cal
did it already.
actually, yeah, he
Yeah,
has
the
a comic.
Rancor.
I did that. Yeah.
The Rancor was the one that I did. And he's like, oh, yeah, I did that.
Yeah,
already.
that's exactly the same one that we had. Yeah.
But so
Um,
at this point in this free area, what becomes really cool is you can make a garden on top of the cantina, which seeds you can find like all over the place. You can recruit people to come to the cantina, which opens up the mini game, a DJ, and a bunch of other characters that'll give you rumors on where things are, depending on how you find them, and other things later that you can't get now. I think maybe I don't know. You might have been able to get them now, and I just didn't.
Get Scuba Stab to go there.
Yeah,
Scuba
Scuba Steve is good because he will fill your fish tank on the second floor and tell you, regale you with his stories of catching fish.
I
Because he's
can't wait
just a
to hear
small
more.
little prawn
yeah,
man.
his stories are great.
It's so good.
Someone whose story I want to know is I don't know how
Turtle?
you say her name, Kaj or Kaj, but
Mm,
we noticed
Oh,
when
the
we
one
were
that's
on
like sitting on the table. She's got her hat
Yep,
tilted down.
yeah,
Yep.
we noticed when we were on Coruscant at the start of the game, there's a point where you wall run on a couple of billboards, and one has your face as a giant wanted poster, the other one has her face on a giant wanted
Oh.
poster, and
Mhm.
we're like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then we show up at Kobo, and she's just sitting there in the cantina.
Yeah, she looks like she's got like a bounty hunter vibe to her. She very cool
Yeah.
design. Definitely want to know more
and,
about her.
and the Australian accent is great. But yeah, up to this point, she hasn't really given us the time of day. She's slowly gotten more complimentary of our ability to not die in a stupid way. But obviously, she didn't see all my playthroughs with the Rancor. But so she's getting like more and more friendly to us. But I'm excited to see where that is going to finally open up and what the side quest there is going to be, because she seems like a really cool character.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely like Cad Bane vibes.
Yep.
But yeah, there's lots of stuff you can explore and find and unlock at this point, and you just run around Kobo.
Everyone's gotten to try Hollow Tactics, right?
The mini game. Oh,
I didn't do it.
So good, so fun.
Yeah, I didn't do
If
it.
you, I mean, if you
I-
guys like Hollow Tactics, you would probably like what do they call them? Auto chess or whatever. Like it's basically auto chess.
I don't know that I like it. It's fine.
It is not as good as auto chess, I will say, or as like those other auto chess style games, but like it's fine. It's fine for what it is. The rewards aren't. It's just like some cosmetics.
I do
Which I
like
mean
going
is-
to find those characters. Those characters are weird designs.
Yeah.
So is that someone I have to recruit to unlock
Yes.
that game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we haven't done that yet. So
It'll be on the
we'll have to
second
go
floor
back
of the
and-
bar.
I enjoyed it. I wish there was more of it, as I've completed all of them. But
I've got
it's fun. I like
one more.
being able to choose the different characters that you find and then pitting them up against, finding what's going to be a better scenario against these guys. It's fun. enjoyed it.
I love in general though the fact that we are able to recruit people back to this base in Kobo kind of and see that the settlement like grow and flourish, and all of these people are alcoholics, because every time you go back there, where is everybody? In the cantina. Like
Well, what else are they
every
going to be?
single character. I know
hanging
there's
out
not
at
much else
the-
to do in Kobo, I suppose, but it's just funny to like every time we recruit someone, it's like, all right, where are they? Where are they hanging out? I think we found one droid who was hanging out in front of a house where she used to live that we found down in
the medic.
cavern. Tina, I think was her name, like T1N8 or something
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
the medic droid.
Oh,
Yeah. But for the most part, characters we've recruited end up in the cantina.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Everyone got the prior right from the cantina bathroom.
Yep.
Yes.
Out of the toilet.
Yep, that was
Make
very
sure you
good.
wash your hands after that.
Yeah, which I mean, we didn't even talk about that, but there's like currency in the game that you can give to different characters to get unlocks, whether it's new hairstyles or mustaches or new outfits or music. It's cool that they give you that option.
The tuners for Z and then Pyrite for Domo.
Yeah, which Doma you can buy one like key that kind of gives you an extra stem, but otherwise it's all cosmetics.
Z gives you what?
Perks,
and BD1 paint schemes.
Yeah, droid cosmetics.
I think a couple.
But yeah, that's like as somebody who's not super invested in the cosmetics of my character, that's like maybe my biggest complaint in the game is that a lot of the currencies you're collecting are just for cosmetics. A lot of the exploration you do is fun and rewarding in and of itself, so it's kind of fine, but it's just to get more cosmetics. I wish they had something like the Spider-Man games where the cosmetics give you abilities, but once you get the cosmetic and have the ability, you can put it anywhere and still wear whatever cosmetic you want. Like Spider-Man does that perfectly, so that you can still customize your character any way you want, but you're also getting something for finding these customization options that you don't want.
I think the big reason that
find perks and skill points and like they're not in chess, but like the way they have them set up, you still have to do like the weird stuff to find. Oh, here's some perks that you had that you didn't have before, or skill points.
And you'll find you'll find essences, which are obviously useful. And then because Z actually sells perks, like finding the data disc is useful as well. Even if you're not into cosmetics.
The big reason cosmetics is such a big ordeal is because that was everybody's huge complaint about the first game is that Cal was a boring fucking character and that they didn't like his design. And so now it's like, oh, we're going to really up the ante on what you can do with Cal and BD1 and the Mantis and all that, because, I mean, everybody complained about Fallen Order and the design process of it.
I guess I'm curious how the internet at large is feeling about Cal now with him. I think he's more interesting. I think he was already interesting. Like
I also already thought he was interesting.
But a lot of people's complaints were like literally like the fact that everything you found was different colors for the poncho. Whereas the options are a lot better here, definitely, but you're still just finding cosmetics. And for me, that doesn't really do anything.
I think Cal was like a 6 out of 10 for me in the first game, and he's definitely more closer to an 8 out of 10 this game so far. I think that's a lot of that is that intrigue about like what happened in that 5-year gap between all the characters and sort of figuring that out. I think there's a little bit more depth to him in general at this point, a little more edge and desperation that I'm enjoying. I'd still love it if we weren't just, forced into playing as a straight white guy. Give me a game where I get to play as like a Twilight Jedi or something. Like, I don't know. I would love some more options there, but that would have to be, obviously a different game with different characters, but maybe a spin-off from
it was called Star Wars Galaxies, and it came out about 1998.
Yeah.
You could play as Rhodians and all kinds of.
Yeah, that would be dope. I mean, I'd love something modern where that was an option. So yeah, but I mean, we get to meet and fight alongside a lot of cool characters, especially coming up soon. So I won't spoil anything for Tyler. But,
I've got past that part.
Yeah.
Yes, but for the people listening that have probably beaten the game anyway.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody was playing along at our
You're
speed,
assuming people are listening anyways.
That's true. Judging from the questions we got in the Discord, no.
Well, I posted that like 12 hours before recording because we forgot.
Well, but Ryan posted something like a week and a half ago when we were recording and thoughts. And at that point, it was pretty much just performance issue. I'm pretty sure there wasn't any actually game relevant.
People like the game.
Yes,
Preston asked how the update felt, and noticeable, but I didn't have big issues beforehand.
It's definitely felt like an improvement. So.
But we touched on that. I didn't think that was.
Yeah,
I think we were thinking more like actual. Hey, what do you think's happening at this point? What's going there?
Not. There's too many questions at this point. Still, I think.
There's not enough most people to probably already played past that point.
People are not stopping.
That could be potential.
There are people that have finished the game. So
yeah, I mean, we didn't even stop. We just did it so it can make the sectioning of the podcast better, but it's not like any of us even stopped, really.
I think I'm going to spend this next week not moving the story forward at all, though, and just doing world exploration, so I'll be basically at the stopping point already. Like, there's just so much to explore.
It's going to be 2 days. They give you 2 days for
All
that.
right.
It did not take me long, and I thought it would be more daunting, but it was like, oh man.
But I've done very little of that throughout my playtime so far. I've really kind of gone story beat to story beat.
I still have a bunch of Kobo I need to explore.
I've only done 2, maybe 3 of the temples on Kobo. Like there's a lot for me to do.
I think we've honestly just done the one that they start you in. I don't think we've gone and done any of the others. So we did find that the Grand Vault that you guys mentioned, because there was the one spinning disc there, and I spent about 20 minutes trying to figure out how I was supposed to stop the other 2 discs.
Yeah.
I just Googled it, but yeah.
Yeah, that's what I did. And
I just walked away. I didn't Google it.
Yeah.
Rest of these?
Anyway, we did talk about Tyler's favorite boss fight. Optional frog, the spawn of Ogdo, Dogdo, or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah,
the one from the first game.
Yeah, which is funny. It's like, oh, hey, this was like an optional boss at the beginning of the first game that you find to the right as soon as like you start that first level.
Yep.
And then it's like, oh, okay, we're going to make this way fucking harder for no reason. He's going to one-shot you with this stupid tongue move, and then he's going to consistently come after you and not fucking stop attacking. And if you get hit twice, you're dead. Doesn't matter what you do.
Well, if you get it with the tongue, it's a one-hit kill. But the one thing, my gripe is, in the first one, you could grab his tongue and cut it off.
Yeah.
And he couldn't do that anymore. So I was continuously trying to grab his tongue with the force pull when he spit it out. And there's weird timing issues. You can't do it in this one. But it also wasn't a one-hit kill in the first one. They would just do that, and you could grab their tongues and cut them off.
Do you guys have any idea how the spawn of Ogdo got off of Bogano and to?
Well, they must have captured him. Oh, fuck, fine.
Yeah,
the Mantis. It's Grease's fault.
Yeah,
it just.
I mean, that's why the boglings are there.
Yeah,
because that one bogling you picked up in that first place gets on the Mantis and then is released. And I like how there's a little conversation about how they talk about the boglings, and like, the Raiders just fucking kill them for fun because there's no point. You can't use them for anything. There's no meat on them. It's just like they're just shooting them for the hell of it.
Yeah, the Mosey mentions that to you, and then Cal says, "Well, maybe I'll go pay this chief that you're talking about a visit." And she's like, "No, I took care of him.
Yeah, I killed him already. Don't worry about it."
The boglings feel like a call out to the Gizka from KOTOR. I don't know if anyone else has touched KOTOR besides Chris, and I know you didn't get through it, but
I beat it.
Okay, yeah. So
I was alive when it came out initially, so it wasn't past my prime. I played it on Xbox.
Okay. So yeah, there are a creature called Gizka that you can bring back onto your ship at some point, and then they end up just like completely overtaking and invading your ship, and that's kind of what the bogling thing felt like a shout out to me back to that storyline.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what makes that spawn of Ogdo fight harder? Having another one.
Yeah, well, after you beat that, there's that other frog that's judging you. Like, you can look at it and inspect. He's like, it just feels like he's judging me. And then he ends up back at the Doma's shop.
Yep.
And then you look at it, expect him again, and the force tear appears. And then
there's two of them.
You have to fight father and son, or mother and daughter, whatever they are.
Yeah. But
that could be any, because frogs can change their sex, right? If Jurassic Park has taught us anything, they can change with evolution.
Well, that was the fight that I turned the difficulty down on, because having 2 of them was just an absolute pain in the ass. It was fucking impossible. I mean, obviously it's not impossible, but I turned the difficulty down to Jedi Knight for that one, and it was still a pain in the ass because there's still 2 hitting you and then 1 shotting you with the tongue move, but then you got 2 of them coming after you at the same time. But I finally took them down, and all you get is a skill point from it. But I killed those sons of bitches, so that's all I care about.
I was gonna say, I wonder if you get all the way to the top of the confusion tree, if you can turn them against each other, because I've definitely done that with other creatures. And I wonder, because you can unlock the difficult enemies confusion, I think, at the top of the tree. So you could.
It's still annoying because
turn them against each other.
I have it up. I think I've gotten the first one, and I still can't confuse certain enemies, and it's still bothersome to me. It's like,
I just unlocked the very last one, but I haven't tried it on any boss.
Yeah, the confusion is amazing. It works so well in that game. I love it. It's especially there is an area in Kobo, like as you're coming down the cliff going towards the settlement. It's off to the right. It's like a big ass tower. If you get to the top of it, there is like 25 droids sitting up there on top of this tower, and they will fuck you up. But if you use confuse and have one of them help you, it ends up making that fight a lot easier.
Right after you get the power to like do it to the bigger fauna creatures, they immediately put a big fauna creature inside a stormtrooper camp. Like, test this out, guys, and see how.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it.
That's at the end of the forest array when you're leaving.
Yeah,
because it's the Triceratops thing.
Yeah. It just wipes the whole camp out, and you're like, well, you're only half health now.
Yeah, it's like a Triceratops pill bug.
Yeah,
that creature's so weird.
Which have you? When it rolls, have you guys pushed it?
Then the force push, and you can attack its stomach. That's awesome.
I was just gonna say we also love it when we come upon a fight and we just kind of hang back and watch and wait to see who wins and then take them out. But
yeah,
we've
because
had
they'll
a
just
few
fight
of those.
themselves.
Yeah, like stormtroopers will fight battle droids. Both of them will fight monsters. So it's really funny to just come around a corner and you see like a giant Mogu beast like ripping apart stormtroopers and pounding them into the ground.
Yeah, just like going full Hulk from Avengers, smashing them back and forth.
One thing I think since I just played Fallen Order and I like more about this game is, I guess I wouldn't call it gore kills, but you can actually like chop off the limbs now.
Yep.
Where in the first one, so
this one.
the way you swing, which if you go back to, I don't know if anyone played the Jedi Outcast and Jedi Knight, the Kyle Katarn ones.
Yep.
You literally, where you hit them with the saber would take that piece off. Is just hilarious, like throwing your saber and cutting their legs off. It's just burnt little legs. They're on
As
the
it should
ground.
be, though. I mean, that's
right.
How they're supposed to work.
I really enjoy that they added that. Like, there's some brutal ones where he will, like, you're fighting some of those raiders and he'll just chop their heads off.
Yeah,
and it's fantastic. We also didn't talk about another favorite of Tyler's. I think was the Hammer Brothers that are on top of the.
Oh yeah,
camp.
near the spawn of Ogdo. They're like up on the top of that ridge.
Yep.
If you go and fight them both at the same time, they are a huge pain in the ass. But if you get down near the spawn of Ogdo platform before it opens up, and like you can force pull one down towards you, like where like you hold it and like they'll leap at you. It's a really good way of cheesing that fight.
Because you can't push them off the edge. I tried that to separate them, and they'll dig their hammer in, and they won't go over the edge.
Yeah, but if you can get below them and force pull one down, where like you obviously won't pull them, but they'll jump at you.
I fought them both at the same.
Yeah, I cheesed it. It was a lot easier.
I don't think I even saw those guys.
They suck.
They're hard to get to. You have to do the there's a puzzle in like a barn that you have to get up on top of, and then you go up to a tower, and then
you end up cutting a rope.
Yeah. So you can't get to them immediately, but you also find another character for the cantina up there, who is, I think you can get him in the cantina, but he's working on droids. He's the one that's turning all the battle droids.
Yep. Yeah, and
he's got like this giant fucking.
That's one of the things.
Jackhammer thing working on droids.
We didn't talk about is like there's like optional dialogue kind of for certain characters where it's like they're doing something and you can go and talk to them.
The droids you're looking for.
Yeah, and you use your like force powers on them to like the guy is fixing droids for what's the Raiders Ravis fixing droids for Ravis, and like Cal's like, you should stop fucking doing that. you know, and you get the option like, don't trust Ravis, or what you're doing is bad. And like, don't trust Ravis. Like that's like you can choose between those two.
Yeah, but still, I think like the problem with that is it's just the that dialogue that's different. I think you're winning either way.
Yeah,
because I have not lost one of those, and I'm like, it would be better if like, right, but it would be funnier if there was like something that or more detrimental, like you do this way,
a good or a bad ending to it.
Yeah. Also in that camp, probably one of my most like.
That's what I was gonna bring that up is
when you get to the droids with the battle tank, how it opens up the front and then just starts dropping them off in waves, and you got to fight them as it's dropping off. Say like Phantom Menace style, but it doesn't drop
off like 6 at a time, and then 4, and then 4,
and they're varying.
Difficult.
You know, the first ones are just like battle droids with rifles, then you get the bigger ones with the fucking rocket launchers, and then the ones that jump all over the goddamn place with the swords and the blasters.
Yep.
And then you can go in behind that, and there's even more guys that will fuck you up if you're not careful. But that's a very good part. I really enjoy that. It opens up and it just continuously drops out battle droids. But yeah. Anything else? Anybody predictions that Ryan and I will stare at the ceiling more probably me.
I don't really have any predictions. I mean, obviously we're gonna go talk to Seer,
And maybe we'll find other people from
yeah. We'll
past
see where it goes.
crew.
Yeah, we'll see where it goes from there.
I said maybe. It's probably not. You know, it's probably just a steaming turd.
I'm excited to see a more intact and thriving Jeddah, which is the planet where Seer is located. Last time we saw it in canon was Rogue One, I think, and didn't go so well for Jeddah in that movie.
Yeah.
Well, so it's actually, this is before Rogue One because you are still doing stuff for Saw Gerrera,
right,
who is still alive and
yeah,
not dead.
so I'm
as he
excited to
dies in the
see
movie.
Jeddah in a better state than where it was at the end of Rogue One.
Right. Which I'm curious if they are just going to continuously mention Saw and you never meet him.
Yeah, because he was
I don't
in
really
the
know.
first game, so yeah, it's
with his harpoon gun that looks very weird as he flies away in it because he's just kind of like statuesque. Anything else anybody wants to talk about the game?
Game good.
Game good.
very good. Yeah.
The last thing I'll say about exploration is like you get used to it pretty quickly, but compared to like a Souls game, a lot of the terrain is like smoothed over. It's not like everything is actually interactive. But also falling in a hole in this game doesn't put you back at your last checkpoint or whatever. You know, you just lose a little bit of health. So it's not as big a deal when you're like, I'm going to jump onto that platform and then it's actually smooth and you fall in a hole. Not that big a deal.
That would be so bad if it was just an instant death back to the meditation, especially for a lot of these traversal puzzles. When you're like going this way and you're like, oh shit, I was supposed to grab on the thing behind me as you're fucking falling to your death.
Yeah.
Also, there's some traps in some of these caves that like literally like you can knock something down and you just fall fucking straight to your death. And there's underwater swimming, which I think was introduced in Kashyyyk on the last one, but there hasn't been too much. I think there's one cave you use it where you can actually go under.
There's a few places in the world on Kobo. I mean,
you could go down and there's like a treasure chest, but there's not really like
that was the only one I've used
Yeah.
it for is when you get scuba stab and
jump down there and try to watch him fight the fish.
Yeah.
Which he doesn't.
Yeah.
But I like his little jump off where he's just like arms out, legs out, and just down into the water.
Yeah, I was confused because I assumed, we're gonna open up like a fishing mini game or something for Cal, and then it's nope, he's just in the water and comes back with it.
Even better.
Just got that fucking starfish always stuck to his fucking helmet.
And then we get more of the story in Scottish shits.
Yeah. I don't know if this was a glitch or not, but when we went back and visited him in the cantina and he's talking about the tank, he started talking about, oh, look how great and clean it is. And our tank is still fucking dirty as hell.
Yeah.
So the only thing I think that cleans it is getting more fish, because I've not seen anything that makes you do it. And the more fish, now mine is like, it's not dirty anymore, but it's just because I have found more fish. I assume it's just cleaning it, like the more life inside of it.
Okay.
Yep. Same.
Eating the algae and whatnot. You know, you got to find those fucking sucker fish that just leech onto the.
What I've been looking for, Tom.
Wait, what happened to that sucker fish I found? Shut up, Scuba Steve. It's in my pants.
Down in Cal's room.
Yep.
Oh no.
Next to Grease's 14 pairs of the same red spacesuit or whatever.
Yeah, like what the fuck? Oh, that was cool that you get his pilot jacket. I really like that. It's very Luke Skywalker.
I didn't realize it till it was hanging up and you look at it, but like Grease's old red suit looks like fucking Dr. Robotnik's suit.
Yeah. Did you guys like do pre-orders for bonuses or anything? Because that is one of the pre-orders was the Luke's like rebel jacket.
That's
from
the
end
digital
of,
deluxe
New Hope.
for the. I didn't think the $20 extra as much as I would want the Han Solo outfit.
Yeah.
I didn't feel that was worth it. Like, there's literally nothing else besides those two outfits in the digital deluxe version.
Yeah, I just got the pre-order bonus.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Stuff.
I went digital deluxe.
Yeah, Ryan and I went digital deluxe. I know that because
big spender.
He was asking me the night before.
Are
our
you
Survivor
still using
ended.
the cosmetics
Yeah,
that you paid the extra $20 for?
Yeah, I have been.
Yeah, we used the hermit outfit a lot at the start, and then we just.
But that one you didn't pay for. That one's just the pre-order.
Right.
I'm talking the ones that you paid for.
So yeah, we did just switch to the rebel jacket once we headed off to Jeddah, and we got our spoiler alert for the next section. We got our new stance, and we immediately equipped the Han blaster that we got.
Of course.
With that. So yeah.
I don't know. I found some really cool like cosmetic items you can wear, and I don't think any of them are spoilerish, but still, like,
yeah,
they're very good, very good. Like Ryan knows the one that I'm probably wearing is the one I was talking about earlier. I'm wearing the full
from
suit.
The first game.
No, I don't.
I think I only
like
have
how they give you the poncho, and it's just like this faded ass pink color. And it's like, why is the default version of this a pink one? I don't even think there was a pink one in the first.
Yeah. Also, that's your reward for beating the spawn of Ogdo.
Yeah, is a poncho.
Yeah, but you get a trophy as well.
And you unlock the Force Tear, where you have to fight both of them. Because it only unlocks after you beat the spawn.
I haven't done that fight yet.
It sucks. Fight sucks.
It's not that bad.
You didn't do it?
Yes, I did.
I went
back and did it after you were making such a big deal about it.
Yeah, it sucked ass.
And then I did it, and it was fine. I mean,
So
it was way worse than the Rancor, which I found another Rancor, which I found an easy way to cheese, but then I went back because he's a returning Rancor because he's in this area, so it's not like a boss one. And then fought him the actual way, but it's funny because I found a way to cheese him without even like fighting him, which is in a very cool area. It is on Kobo, so you just can't get to it yet. Unlocked abilities.
Tyler's gonna murder you.
I didn't even say anything. It's just a cool area on the planet. Like there are a lot of cool areas on different planets.
Chris is on my side. He's just not saying anything.
I think
what I just did in chapter 5. That really fuck it.
Don't do that. No,
I gotta end this call.
I think finding something that was a boss just out in the world, just like hanging out, and it's a normal enemy, is a cool moment.
Well, it's not. It's they're not as hard as the boss ones that you find. Because there are several like incidents of that. Like you find, I just fought this hard boss one that had the nameplate and everything, and then this one's just here, but it's just clearly not as developed as the other one.
Yeah, like what is his name? Ziek. I don't even know if we talked about him. You fight him very quickly when you meet Ravus.
Yeah.
That was the guy's name.
Yeah. The one I couldn't remember his name. Yeah,
I can remember.
It was just like a basic, he's the spear one, right? The bounty or the bedlam.
Yeah.
I got one. I don't know if it's optional or not, but I got the name of one boss spoiled for me by a student actually at the school where I work. So of course I failed him.
Yeah, you need to expel that kid needs to be expelled.
But I'm extremely excited to encounter that boss based on name alone. And I won't say anything else until we get to the.
I think I know which one it is that you're talking about, because when I encountered it, it was fucking hilarious.
Yes. Yes, it's a very funny thing.
Yes. Oh, is this what you posted about in the Discord with the spoiler tag?
Yeah, I put spoiler tags on it. Yeah. Yeah. So sorry, Tyler.
Okay. I don't read anything. I don't. So I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, he's no socials anymore. He's gone black.
Better way to live my life. Better way to live. You should do it.
I guess that's all we got for first 2 chapters. And
yeah, thanks for having me on, guys. I appreciate it.
Good game.
Thanks for coming, buddy.
Yeah.
It was a very fun game. I was excited to talk about it.
Finally get you on a game club. We've had you rank so many Pokemon.
Cool. So many Pokemon. I'm glad you do a game club for Scarlet, because I still haven't finished it.
You like how Gotta Rank 'Em All is like, we're going to go down and this is going to be boom, 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 boom. And this is like, we're going to fucking just scattershot.
All over the place. I love it. No, it's fun. It's just hanging out with friends and talking about video games, man. That's what it's all fucking about. So it's
just
great.
A couple of dudes being bros.
Brian, you got anything to plug?
Yeah. I mean, so I do a show with my buddies, Draft Punks, and we have been on a very abnormal release schedule the last year or so because big life changes. Had a baby. I mean, my wife had a baby. I help out sometimes.
Hey, you don't have to talk to us about abnormal recording schedules.
Yeah. So it's been a little hit or miss lately. But yeah, we have a guest on and pick a topic that they're into, and we do a fantasy football style draft where we pick a bunch of items and just talk about them and shoot the shit. And it's always very fun if you enjoy hearing. I think we've had everyone on except for Tom at this point. So Tom, we got to get you in there at some point. Yeah. But yeah, Ryan's on like every other episode, so it's not even exciting when Ryan's
It feels
on
like,
anymore.
Yeah. Ryan old news at this point.
Basically
He's like,
a
an,
host.
he's like an honorary punk at this point.
Pretty
Yeah.
much, yeah. That's what we call him when we introduce him now. So, but yeah. So hopefully we have one that we're hoping to do at some point in the next month or two. It would be one of our bigger guests that we've ever gotten. I'll just say that, but I don't want to tease too much because if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But we're
Spoiler,
really...
it's me.
No, it's I'm a huge Disney Pixar fan, and they have a new movie coming out this summer called Elemental, and we may or may not be talking to someone who's working on that film.
Cool.
So we'll see if it happens. I would love it if it did, but he's obviously extremely busy with getting that movie ready to be in theaters. So yeah.
Ryan, do you have anything to plug?
Check out our YouTube. I've been streaming on our YouTube lately. Tuesdays is Kingdom Hearts. We'll be starting. We watched the Recoded movie last week, so we're starting Dream Drop Distance.
Please, baby.
So that's fun. I also streamed War Tales for 4.5 hours with Preston on my birthday after work. That was a blast.
Happy birthday, Ryan.
Hey, thanks, Tyler.
Belated. Happy.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Happy emergence of the vaginal cavity.
I was a C-section, so
yeah, that's why they
cut me
what
out.
They used to say before they started saying happy birthday. They started saying happy emergence from the vaginal cavity, everybody.
So eventually someone was like, we need a better name for this.
And they tried singing the song. They're like, happy emergence from the vaginal cavity. And it just didn't work.
It's a very good song.
Oh God.
Yeah, Chris, you got any plugs?
Yeah, listen to Gotta Rank 'Em All, our other podcast. One of our other podcasts. We do so many. Yeah, it's on our YouTube. It's on the same place where you're listening to this. So check it out. We're ranking Pokemon. We're almost done ranking them, actually. We have so many ranked. We have like 30 left as of this recording, I think.
Yeah,
something like that.
Something like that. 30 and change.
Tyler.
Wasted on Saturdays, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Central Time. We're going to be playing Redfall tonight if it is fun. And if it's not, we're going to switch to probably more Redland.
Doesn't kick us out.
And it doesn't crash on us. We tried it last night. It seemed okay. I don't know if we'll stick with it. Probably not.
But it won't be tonight anyway because they won't be listening to this right now as we.
You're right.
Talking.
You're right. So whatever. Fuck me. Okay. Saturdays.
Just go fuck myself.
Yeah.
Diablo will be coming down the pipeline.
Yeah, we're gonna do Drunk Diablo.
There's a bunch of things that
Remnant
we had
2,
already.
Remnant 2.
Remnant 2, yeah.
I got Tom hooked on Remnant. Let's go.
Endless Dungeon. I think that still comes out this year. Maybe. Yeah, I think it was November. Didn't they move it?
Yeah,
it was supposed to be out by now, but I think they boosted it to the end of the
year. Yeah, they moved it.
But yeah, we play games. We drink.
Yeah,
it's hilarious. Occasionally we record the weekly that is not weekly.
No, it's
podcast.
When it happens, podcast.
The Friendly Fire show, which happens sometimes, and if you're listening to this, you know when it comes out.
Yeah, I want it to happen soon. I've got games to talk about.
Yeah, that's our multimedia show. We talk about games, movies, whatever, books.
You're apparently not allowed to talk about music because drunk Tyler shut me down on talking about movies.
So hard.
2 episodes ago when we had Preston on.
I don't remember. I was hammered.
Sleeping in his
Tom.
bean. Is that what you? Oh, that's great. That's right. Preston, you got anything?
I was lit the fuck up, dude. I apologize on the next episode because I don't remember the end of that recording at all. I was lit up.
Oh my god!
The most drunk I've ever been on a recording ever.
I don't remember.
We weren't supposed to record. And I was day
well,
drinking
you
all
weren't
day.
supposed to
You
record.
weren't,
We were
yeah.
going to record.
Yeah, my power went out. You're right. And then I wasn't supposed to record. And then my power came back on. I was like, well, I've been day drinking all day, so I guess I'll record.
I mean, it is following Wasted anyway, so they have to have some sort of an expectation of it is not going to go the way it is supposed to go.
Yeah, I guess.
But I mean, if you listen to any of our podcasts, that's a true statement. Unless you listen to like the Ghost of Tsushima when we started, because that was pretty much normal lines. Because we hadn't recorded yet, so we didn't know how to
Who
make
knew
fun
what
of
was
each other
happening? Now
correctly.
it's 2 years later.
And it's triangles this and triangles that. Tyler's prom,
Got a triangle on my arm.
Hey.
which has slightly changed since
Yeah.
we started recording.
How he bullied you into changing it.
Oh.
Yeah. When was that? Was that Infamous that we started on?
No, it was fuck. It was
Of course.
Monsters Knox.
East 9?
East 9.
Yes.
It was
Okay.
Yeah, that's
It was
right.
East 9 because it ended up becoming about alchemy. I think.
Mhm.
And I made the very infamous line of,
This is the alchemic sign for fire. No, it's not, Tyler. That is a triangle.
"It is though. Look it up, pieces of shit. Eat my ass and end the show."
All right. We are recording whenever. Who's hosting?
You
No.
are.
Not me.
Tomas.
I clearly remember Brian saying he was hosting.
Star Wars, nothing but Star Wars.
You know, I thought about doing that, looking up the Bill Murray song and
Yeah.
just singing that.